happy SoFi Day to people as well. Happy Bitcoin Bounce Day. And happy every sort of Monday to everybody out there. Join us back again. Good show today.
Oh, it's 11 o'clock.
Join us back at 2 o'clock when we will have Neil and I again, and then you'll rate for now. Thankfully, you're going to a very great midday program.
With our intro music.
You have to understand something. We already talked about this. We get nothing new on this show. Not absolutely anything. No, it's not shade. It's just we don't get anything new on this show, but these guys do, which is great.
You might as well hit it again while you're at it.
You got to fight for it.
Might as well.
I mean, we love some Stone Cold right here. That's what I feel like every single day, man. Whenever I sit down in this chair, we breaking through. You saw the Tesla trade there today, so we were cracking Budweiser's early on the desk. So congratulations to everybody. Let's go back over to the midday where we have these two stunners of guys ready to go right there. See what I did right there, guys? All right, see ya.
You want Katina, man. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That is your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. Where are the people at? Oh, they're here. I forgot. Shout out to the OG Darwin. We got the other OG, Other Zinc, of course. Shout out to Princess Investing Northwest Sasquatch. We got Maracas 100. Super. No. Yes. And Ricky G. Mark Susi. We got SPS. Hangry Wife 9 to 5 Grind joining us as well as Buffalo Soldier. Mohammed. We got, I can't read all those characters there, Joey. I wish I could. Mandarin name, can't read all of it. We got Dangerous, Nygaard. Wyatt, we got Why Not and Volke, Ichiro, shout out to Be Free as well, Mary, Edgar, we got Philosopher on a Mission and Hypercube, and it wouldn't be a day without Andrew Chow and Richard Trejo. We got Sander checking out. We got Carter, Randy, Savage, Say It Ain't So, Rage Quit Radio, Julian Ellen G Talk, shout out to Haley, Nichelle, and Stephen LA, Stephen Knight as well, joining us, T-Money and Ahmad, Habibi, come to Egypt. We got one more here, Joey. Sean, Aaron, and I lied. It would not be a good day if KC 526 was not joining us. Good morning to everybody. Joseph, good morning to you.
What about Mike P? It's a fact, Jack.
100%. How was the weekend?
It was good, man.
Good?
It was good, yeah.
Good to hear, good to hear.
So I was sick for my birthday. I told you guys that, so I didn't go out for dinner or anything. But Saturday evening, my brothers and my father, we all went up to Joey's at Yorkdale.
Oh, and we went to Joe's.
Yeah, we went to Joe's at there. Because my brother's birthday's on the 11th as well, too, so we just figured we usually celebrate.
5 and 11,
Yeah, 5 and 11. Yeah, I'm 10 years older than him.
That's crazy.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that.
Crazy. It's crazy. I'm trying to put them on, man. My brothers and I were like, hey, you got to start buying a little bit of crypto because by the time you're my age, who knows what you're off to a good jump start. So, all right, guys, fantastic morning so far. A lot we got going on, too. I was messaging Gorev on X. I'm happy to bring you guys something. I was talking to Sharif about it this morning as well, too. But aside from that, Apple has been on an absolute run here this morning, up to 263, almost tapping into right there. Sharif, you and I were talking about that breakout not too long ago, the consolidation and then the breakout. It needed to absorb a little more liquidity, and sure enough, now it's off to the races. But aside from that, guys, what were we trading today? Only one name on the day, and that is going to be the king of crypto, BTC, IBIT, one of the best performing ETFs of all time right here, guys. Boom, there it is. So attempt number one, we take 33% off right there, and then we get stopped out break even, but we reload, and then we hop right back in, and we're still sitting on approximately 20%. Other than that, that's all I got going on. Also, I was talking with some individuals in the chat. I bought some Amazon $213.50 this morning. As soon as I opened my eyes, I'm like, all right, let's go. Got the notifications, was doing a little bit of TA on there, so that's working out. But now we're just waiting for a new high to be established on IBIT. The reload was really nice. Once the thesis started working out, we double it up, bang, bang, bang. 63.30 is going to be that next target, or even 63.29. We'll take that one. We're cool with that, Sharif. So that's what we got going on. Yes, Joey Management, Wilson and Katina Capital in full effect this morning.
It's crazy talk. I love it. There's a very exciting day so far. All right, guys. Shout out to Chet, GPT, Sharif, DVLT, WW, Joe. We're getting calls off dip. We're going to get to it. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Chat GPT. Here's the deal. Here's what I'm looking at right now. Give me a sec. Just trying to load in the side charts. Okay, so here's what we've got on for the small cap gappers. The one I'm involved in right now, REPL, in at 30s, looking at building my position in. It's got a 991 high. Looks like I'm in, you know, maybe towards the top end of the range. I perceive the range to be about 950, give or take, and around about 8 2/3 to the downside. We'll see how this cookie crumbles. But let's just get right to it. You guys are all talking about GSIT as well as you should be. The number one or maybe number one or number two gapper. It used to be REPL. Now it's GSIT taking the cake right now. It's up 180%. And it's got a good looking bull flag. It's a multiple halter. So let's do our halt analysis super quick. How many halts on the way up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 halts up in a row. Then we deal with one halt down. Then we halt up. Then we halt down. So now we can obviously, we're in the consolidative aspect. Even if we're halting, it doesn't matter. We're consolidating. We've got a range. This is the difference between a range right there on the right side of your screen and the trend on the left side. So we're going to keep an eye certainly on GSIT. I perceive it to have a local area of support in and around 14. That's for the wicks. The closing prints seem to be defending the 10 EMA on the 5. We'll see how this cookie crumbles. Very volatile. Trade it carefully, please. There goes REPL Joseph options. Let's wet the beak over here. It takes out the local area high. We got 29s on. So we had 2 planned DCAs. The third one did not fill as of yet. So let's go ahead and wet the beak up here as well. Now we're waiting at 40s, 7s for more. And we got to wait a little bit more. We got to wait a little bit at 955 to see if we can take out that level there. So that's the first one I got into. But I've got plenty of more, guys. There's a whole bunch moving. I'm keeping my eye on NVTS, top right of your screen. Losing the 10 EMA on the 5. But that's all right because I perceive price action support to be in and around 17. Take a gander at this area over here. We got into 17, rejected. It dropped all the way down to 16 before retaking it. So I want to see, does this one find support at 17, or are we going to have to wait for a deeper retracement, more like 16 3/4? So that's one right there. BTBT. You know, this one is a name that we all know. It's crypto related. It's got a good looking bull flag as well. And for the most part, it's defended the 10 EMA and the 5, save and except for the loss of VWAP right there at 1020 and 1025. So this one is also in focus. ACHV, putting in a nice little compression pattern. And look, ACHV is a holdover from Friday. It was running Friday. I think it was running actually Thursday as well. Had an okay day Friday, more consolidative. And here we are again trying to take out the aftermarket highs of Thursday. Right now, I think we're like 3 or 4 pennies off that aftermarket high from a couple of days ago. So that one will be in focus. Rappel, I've already talked about. It's the one that I'm involved in. DGXX, another holdover from Friday. This one also had a good day, at least in the midday. It was doing more volume in the midday than it was in the pre-market or early on, and it's having another good day today with another new high and certainly higher lows knocking at the door of that $5 area. Last but not least, before we see what the options man has, CAN, another really good one and another very respectful one of technical indicators. You know exactly which technical indicator I'm talking about. It's that solid green line, the 10 exponential on the 5. So I don't mind executing on CAN here, especially seeing that, you know, it's cheaper and I can definitely manage risk a little bit more. If I was to get in here at the 10 EMA, that gives me a 211, 212 print. The end of the trade would be the loss of 2, not because only it's psychological support, but it's price action support. Take a gander at what it did on these 3 candles over here. The 10, 20, 25, and 30 candle held 2 like a glove. So CAN. Oh, I was going to hit the Canada animation, but I got shafted
which one were you looking for?
The Canada animation, because my stream deck.
Canada,
so guys, something happened with my sound card. So Rob, the IT guy, had to kind of fix everything over here, and I'm on a different login profile on my computer, so I don't have all my old things. Like I had to reset my headset, I have to reset my animations and everything. So we're kind of flying a little bit blind today. Not trading, of course, but you know, just for some of these extracurriculars, Joey.
Yeah.
What do you got, man?
Yeah, man. Let's go. We're cooking up here on IBIT, piecing out a little bit more. Yes, we're going to get to that momentarily there. Fabian, I see it, and I'm also currently reading it as well too. So, all right. Did you do chats? Super chat?
I called it out, but I didn't do it. So let me do it first before we start on to the next one. DVLT, I did it already,
that's you right there, and then we'll pop over to me.
DVLT, let's bring it in right here.
RGTI calls, and then we're going to get to you, Sean.
My God, Apple all-time highs, 263.05. Go, Apple, freaking go. Unreal. There we go, baby. All right.
Whoa, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing it either, but I don't care. I like it either way, Joey. Here's DVLT, guys. Looks like there is support between 220 to 225. It's not the biggest mover on the day, but it's got 27 2/3% up under its wings right now. So I'd be punching in at 2 1/4, and I'd be out on the loss of 2 1/5. So you punch in 225, 226. If it loses 220, you're out. That's what I'd be looking for right there. It certainly has a buy zone between 225 and 220. If it doesn't hold up that area, I'd be out. And you have a nice move up to take out 40s, likely to move into 50s. I like the look of DVLT. It might find its way onto my side charts momentarily over here, Joey.
Good stuff. All right, there goes IBIT. We're going to get to RGTI in uno momento, and then we're going to get I'm looking at USAR as well, too, for our friend Sean James. But first, we're going to take a little bit off here on the IBIT. Oh, no, we don't want that. Cancel that. Cancel that. We want the new high, baby. So let's post up. Yeah, let's post up there. We'll post up at 42s to see if we can catch a fill on that one. Bang. And all right there, let's see if we can catch that fill there, guys. It's working really, really well on IBIT. Now let's take a gander at RGTI. I'll pull that up on a separate chart. RGTI. Oh man, I'm excited to talk about what I was working on over the weekend, man.
I'm excited to hear about it. Bro.
Yeah, it got me really pumped, man.
He told me, but it's actually quite interesting, man. And if everybody's nice to you, maybe we can all get a copy.
All day, man. You eat, man. Everybody eats.
Your guys are about to find out what he's talking about right now.
Yeah, we'll do the super chats first. RGTI, you're thinking some calls up here. See, the thing is, I think just because of the price expansion, your average true range is going to be higher, obviously. And with that being said, what happens essentially is that your implied volatility starts to increase, right? And you're going to be paying substantial amount of IV. Right now, you're sitting at 141.5% in implied volatility. Now, if you ask me, that's too high. I would wait for this to cool down, and then you want to grab things when the IV starts to cool off. We can go to further dated. I mean, this is expiring this week, but for me personally, let's head over to this February expiration cycle, and at the money IV is still relatively high. So essentially what I'm going to get at here in short is there's a time to buy contracts and there's a time to just go common stock. I think if you're looking to get involved with RGTI, start your thesis off with shares, and then once the IV cools down, then you can add in with contracts, and if it's working as well too, all right? So there's RGTI. Now to pull up USAR for our good friend Sean Aaron over here. USAR. This is the USA Rare Earths. I don't know if it's an ETF or anything along those lines. But again, see, high at the money IV. And you can see this displayed within the price action, right? You're just getting the expansion, the price expansion, and that's going to be priced into the options market as well too. So you have to take that into consideration. But essentially what they're saying is US AR $36 strike price expiry at the end of the month, down 78%. Yeah, so you're all the way up here at the 36 strike. You're down substantially on those. And you're not even really getting anything. As for a writing standpoint, the thing is what you can do is roll over the contracts. You just have to pay the difference. But at the end of the day, what you can do to just kind of mitigate your losses is just start writing a strike price earlier, higher, one increment higher. And if you happen to get assigned, so what? You got 10 contracts, $1 higher, even though they're just, sorry, you won't get assigned because they're just flat out shares. But that's one way you can mitigate those losses, is that you want to start writing against it. The issue is, unfortunately, you don't have that much time. And this is what we talk about day after day is that when you're buying contracts, you need to give yourself a little bit more time. Buy the theta, buy the theta, buy the theta, so you don't run into scenarios like this where you only have 2 weeks and or a little bit less, 11 trading sessions, 11 days, not even trading sessions, and then now those contracts are going to be essentially worth nothing. So you can roll them over. We'll break it down one more time. Roll them over, start writing at strike prices higher, pay the difference, or you can accept your loss at the exact same time. But it's writing right now to mitigate those losses, Sharif.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, cool. So there it goes. We got an aggressive sell-off on IBIT. We almost got that. We almost got that fill here, almost to the penny, but then it's like, nah, see you later. So hopefully we get an additional bounce. I mean, it has been rejecting VWAP throughout a couple of the intraday sessions, but this is what we're talking about. I don't want to pull up my trading view because of what I'm going to be showing you guys later. So I'll just pull it up otherwise on this here, BTC, and this is what I was talking about. Like, break through the support level and then give us some form of indecision. I'm glad Katina Man was buying this around 103 or whatever it was, 105, whatever he had, but this is what we're looking for. Hammer candle south of some key support levels, and look at the bounce that we're getting. Sorry, Sharif, one more thing here. With Amazon, why am I involved in Amazon? Well, we're starting to form these indecision prints right around some key support levels. I like the buying pressure stepping in, so 216.50 is going to be my primary target. If I have the ability to add another contract at the hold of VWAP or even at 214s, I'm going to do that. Full disclosure, 50 shares, 1 contract, nothing substantial, just getting our toes wet right now to see if we can get that move that we're looking for and we built a thesis on over the weekend.
All right, guys, we're in CAN. I'm trying to hold for this one to hold 210. We'll see how this one does, but we did quite well here on REPL. We got out at 969, having gotten in at 926. So still holding a piece onto this one. I want to see if this one can run and maybe take out 991. That's the high. It's showing me 9.5 right now. So I can pack my patience with this one a little bit. I don't need to take out the last remaining amount. So I'm packing my patience on REPL, looking for a hold of the 10 EMA. If it loses the 10 EMA, I don't have to give this one to my stop, okay? Or to my entry, excuse me. I'm going to give it to the 10 EMA. If it loses trend, that's fine. We'll get out of that one. And then the other one that I just got into, I've got 15s on CAN. It's showing me 14s. So we're a penny out of the money on this one, but it's still holding trend, holding shape right now. It's still putting in lower lows and lower highs, but it is finding a buyer at the 10 EMA. This is the first time we've been green on the 5-minute chart, I think, in the last 20 minutes. So let's see if we can run up, maybe take out some orders that I have in the high teens. We'll keep an eye out on this one. But ANRO, I got into this one, and this one could be a lot of trouble right now because it had a breakout, a false breakout. This was a bull trap, the way that I see it. And this got me taking it out as well because I got in at the $0.50 for the breakout of resistance. It breaks 12. It goes almost 12. It goes to 11.97, and then it finds a monster seller, and it has a topping tail, almost inverse hammer candle like, and right back into the 10 EMA. Now that's what's keeping me in the trade. That's why I didn't flatten out, because the current candle low is holding at the 10 EMA. So believe it or not, even though this feels like it is a bull trap, it's still holding trend in the sense that it's above, it's got higher highs and higher lows on the current candle, and it's holding the 10 EMA. So I'm trying not to get weaseled out of this too quickly. But you never really know with these ones, especially the small cap gapper world is a dangerous world, and so you can't give this one all that much room. So I'm keeping my eye here on ANRO. If it loses current bar low, that's going to be the end of the trade, and we'll go negative on that one. So that's my look there. Let's have a look quickly at CAN. Still holding trend. Don't mind this one too much. Definitely need another. I need a new high on this current candle though, or the subsequent candle at least, because we have the same area high as the prior candle, but we have a lower low on a wick basis. So that, you know, it's interesting. We'll see. So that's it for me at the moment. Those are the trades that I'm involved in. ANRO is the most precarious of all the trades, seeing that we're substantially out of the money, about 60 pennies out of the money on this name. Not too much in the way of size, but this one is losing trend, Joey, right now. Trying to hold on to that $11 area. I think if it breaks prior bar low, which is 1080, that's going to be the end of the trade there. Otherwise, it's going to have to rock it up. get me back in the money over here for me to stay involved. Oh, we already got stopped out. How come it's not showing my outs on this one? Oh, they're not highlighted. I see. Okay, that was my mistake.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, let me get those highlights on there.
So that's my look right now. What do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. 1 second. We're just going to do exactly what Chief's doing. We're going to highlight our quotes here on IBIT.
Oh,
Bang.
Like
there it is. A nice little pop. And Amazon continuing to climb. All right, guys. As I mentioned earlier, I want to show you guys something. But again, it's going to nothing in life is free. But fortunately, what's coming up next is, so as soon as we weekend, and it is 1,000, and it's as trading related as it can get. So I'm telling you, it's worth it, whether you like it or not. But hey.
Do that, you guys, it is worth it.
Yeah, 1,000 likes, I promise you. And it took some time. Like, I was grinding over the weekend. So we got 242. We're only about 20% of the way there, but 7,500 people watching Sharif. An insane amount. Come on, get that up to 1,000 likes. And I promise you, as soon as I see that, Sharif mentions it, Fabian, Assassino, anybody tells me, Joe, we're at 1,000. The first thing we're going to do is show you exactly what I was working on, and you want to see this 110%. As the market is slowly starting to come back in, but Apple is having another day. It's in its own realm right now, guys, doing its own dance, breaking through. Sorry, Joe longed IBIT. What do you mean, my friend? What are you sorry about? Look, we're long up here, bang, stopped out, and we're long again. We're helly long right there, so let's hit this one. Bang, 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 bang. I got so many animations now, I got to go through my stream deck and see what we got going on, and we're starting to piece it out. But there it is. Let's see if we can catch it. Excuse me. An additional fill on IBIT, Amazon coming back in towards the volume-weighted average price. Adara, talk to us.
US President Donald Trump just greeted Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese outside of the White House. He was asked by reporters, what do you hope to accomplish with this meeting? And Trump said, and I quote, great things. So lots of excitement there from US President Donald Trump about his meeting with Prime Minister Albanese of Australia. So usually what happens here, they meet outside the White House, then in 10 to 15 minutes, maybe less, they'll transition here to the Oval Office or to inside the White House, and then we will get a meeting between the two. Once we get that transition, once the cameras go into the White House with these two officials, I will certainly keep you all posted. Back to you.
Good stuff.
See some of his posts on Truth Social on the weekend?
No, what do you say?
No, it's not what he said.
It's just
the videos that
he posting?
I'm gonna let you look at them.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll take a look at those.
What a guy!
Yeah, he's a character,
Trump.
man.
President Trump, he's a troll.
Yeah, I mean, as for the
troll.
Did you notice the Australian beef in the supermarkets yet?
No, but I've been hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, I was telling you. No, there's just a lot of Australian cuts. Like steak and stuff going on.
Particular reason?
Well, I mean, I started to notice it just shortly after the tariffs. Right, right. So that's when I started to see it come into some of the grocery stores. I like the good old Canadian because there's Tesla there, guys.
Beef is getting ridiculously priced in this country, though.
Yeah. You have to be extremely patient to buy when you're going to buy it, right? Like it fluctuates like crazy. Yeah, you have to be extremely thrifty. And I go to Farm Boy too, which I find is pretty good pricing, reasonably.
I don't see good prices at Farm Boy. It's got good stuff. Don't get me wrong, fantastic stuff. But the prices are,
dude, I'll tell you
like
what,
Loblaws prices.
No, not quite. No. I'll tell you one thing. A crown of broccoli one time cost me more at No Frills than it did at Farm Boy.
No.
Yeah. I promise you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's the same thing today. I haven't been to No Frills in some time, but there it is. Tesla, another indecision print, guys, right off of those lows. This can act as a potential long right there. Jeg, the Farm Boy on Brown's line, yes, they had to go through a renovation. There was a rat infestation at the Farm Boy.
I heard about that.
But that was where there was
that was in Midtown, though. The one on Young and Egg?
No, Brown's line in Gardner, right in Etobicoke there. Okay. But apparently that was like all old factories, just little strip mall there that was there before. So yeah, so you're gonna, hopefully they can take care of that stuff. Not too bad of a look here on Tesla. Let's see if these candles can hold up. Now it's just a slow grind in IBIT. I think we'll have the ability to come and get into that specific price target. It seems that it wants to climb today, so it's just patience, a lot of chop going on. But other than that, let's go IBIT and let's go Amazon.
All right, guys, holding still ANRO. Looking for this one to hold trend. I don't think it is, so we might go 0 for 2 on this one. We'll see how it goes. If it loses 80, that's the end of that trade. So ANRO already given me, I don't think I'm trading it correctly, though. That's my perception, because this is a hell of a bull flag. It's up 80%. It breached through 12. I should be more profitable on this. I think maybe I'm just a little bit too aggressive with my entries. I see clear areas of support at 1050. I don't know why I insisted at punching in near the highs, but we're going to give this one a try. I like the shape of this chart pattern. I like the move. I like the price. I like the percentage up on the day. There's a lot to like about this, but I think I've executed subpar on this one. We'll see if this one ends up getting me in trouble, or I'm able to execute a little bit better going forward. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. Separately, REPL continuing to bleed down. It's still generally above the 10 EMA. I may or may not add at the 10 EMA depending on what I see. So right now the 10 EMA is showing me 933, 932, entries 926. So we'll have plenty of time to make that decision. But CAN continues to do absolutely nothing. We're in at 15s. It's showing me 14s. It's not breaking down nor trending up. Ironically, though, it's not forcing my hand to get out of the trade. Just by the simple fact, it's got 3 higher lows right now on the 5-minute chart, and it's holding above the 10, and it looks like maybe it's got some selling here into the the 16, 17 penny area. And if we can shake that seller, then we can certainly retest the area high at around 222. So that is my look there on the ones that I'm involved in. But let's look at other stuff that I'm not involved in. GSIT. Still holding generally that $15 area. Looks like there's a whole bunch of buying every time this one comes down to around 13.5. One could even make the argument there's a double bottom forming at around 13.5. All the closing prints close above that level, but they do wick below. So make sure you're accounting for that wicking action so that you're not placing your stop at a disadvantageous area and then just get yourself stopped out, even though the trade idea was right. 1550 now as a local area of resistance on this one. I likely would anticipate $16 selling based upon what happened over here. So we'll keep an eye on GIST. And BT, it's running right back up. So breaches a 10 EMA for a quick second, and here we are, 441. I think 445, we get above that, we're squeezing into 50, and then we're likely to take out that topping tail candle from 10 o'clock into 455, which is kind of distorting the price action a little bit. This is a good-looking name, the way I see it. So those are the ones I'm involved in right now. DGX also doing its thing. I also want to shout out Bovin, who pointed out CTXR. I didn't get to cover this one, Bovin, but I did see your comment in the chat. I was just dealing with the trades that I've got on. So topping tail candle, kind of ugly right now into 219. Topping tail then followed by a red candle to make a new low, and it loses the 10. It's below right now that kind of 185 area. Let's see if it holds on to the 20. It's below VWAP as well, so this one would have to get above, I want to say 188 or so for CTXR for me to get involved on this one, because, well, it's got to be above the volume weighted average price. But here we go, Joseph. ANRO taking out some levels. Oh, baby. We've got 08s showing me 29s. Spread opening up a little bit. We do have shares on this one, so we will wet the beak here, but I'm looking for a bigger move, man. I'd like a price spike up through 11.5, maybe test that $12 area again, but it looks like we're being encountered with some selling over here. Now, look, the chart pattern is not bad on ANRO. I just think again, like I said, I think I was a little too gung-ho with how aggressively I got into this one. This is a good-looking chart pattern. I should be positive on this one. I'm going to try to trade it a little bit more carefully now and size in at the appropriate times, possibly into areas of technical support. So that's what I'm looking at. And then REPL, last but not least, it's running right back up again. Sorry. Where's my REPL trade? Did I take that off? No, there it is. right back up. So coming back into that 960 area again, showing me 58s now. Let's see if this one can, test that $10 area. REPL 991 high, but certainly looking for more than that. Joey.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
so
we got Membies.
Yeah, we got
Membies
from KC.
KC again.
Yeah,
what a dropping the cash. They got nothing.
What an absolute superstar KC is. Thank you very much for that. All right, guys, we're gonna go off to Adair. By the way, likes are only at 510. We're halfway there. Come on, listen. I'm an extremely impatient person. Just get it to 1,000 so I can show you. That's it. It's not that hard. All right, Adair, what do you got?
What we have here is our crypto segment for the day. I'm going to start here with this interesting infographic. I did not make this one. It was actually, you can find it on Stock Market News, which is a really awesome account there in X. But anyways, I like this infographic because it shows how the holdings for BMNR, Bitmine Immersion, which is, of course, has Tom Lee on the board, how these Ethereum holdings have grown. Now, their goal is 6 million Ethereum. As of their most recent filing this morning, they have just over 3 million Ethereum. So interesting look here for BMNR. The stock itself, I checked, it's in very much a channel here on the daily chart, so nothing super significant in terms of patterns on the daily, but it is worth noting we are up on the day by about 7.5%. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin, which is also up in the day and actually poised for its third straight green session. Now what's interesting, since we've had that new all-time high, or the most recent all-time high, Monday, October 6th, when we clipped above that 126,000 level, what we've had here is sharp sell-offs, bottoming tail candles, a bit of a reprieve, and then the cycle repeats. We're now making potentially our second lower high, depending on what we do for the rest of the day and tomorrow, since this push to the all-time high. So let's see if we continue to kind of stall in this uptrend. It's worth noting Bitcoin slight break of the uptrend here potentially, especially after losing that support around 108,000, but all hope is not lost for BTC. Of course, it does tend to pull back a little bit after making these new all-time highs. So let's see what the rest of this week brings. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe.
All right, Corey Ewan dropping cash in the chat. Thank you very much, Corey. I'd hit the animation, but I got it. Sharif, my guy, you called out NUAI a few weeks ago at 94 cents. I jumped in. Give it a look now and pat yourself on the back. What do you think of the future? All right, let's have a look at NUAI. I'm happy for you, Corey, my man. Oh, no, Corey, you're up 500%. No.
Bro, what?
Round of applause for you, my man. Way to have conviction. Definitely a lot better than me, because you know how I feel about these small cap gappers, but this is a good looking name. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Let's put the 30 on. So this is the 30-minute chart. No, we got to do it more justice. Let's put the hourly on. Oh, no. Look at this thing since September. Let's take mid-September area price action. You're up 1,200%. So great look there on NUAI. What do you think for the future? Look, Corey, ride the trend, baby. Wherever the trend takes you, keep going. You're getting continuation of structure. You're not getting structure breakdown. Higher highs, higher lows. This is an area of resistance from the breakout area initially. Look at that, how we're using that prior area of resistance as support. Same thing over here. This 4 to 425 area was previously resistance in and around October 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th until we got the breakout on Friday. And now we're using that 4 1/4, as you can see from that price action print this morning, into that level. So look for that stair step up pattern. So long as it's holding structure, and by structure, I'm talking about, the trend of higher highs and higher lows. If you're generally getting that, ride the trend until the structure breaks and then wet the beak at an or take profits and stop out at an advantageous area. For example, if you were riding trend, and all of a sudden, we start stair-stepping up in the same way with $6 in the way that we did with 425. If $6 gives way, I'd be getting out. I'm just giving you an example. In the same way that if 425 lost the bid today at 425, I'd be getting out. The reason I say 425 is because that was obviously in price action resistance, again, on the 11th. The 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, finally, when we broke out from there. So let me know how it goes, brother. Happy for you there, and I hope you print up multiple storms. All right, ANRO, we got stopped out of that one, Joe, but we did wet the beak nicely on the way up, so we were able to de-risk a little bit. We'll end up being negative, though, on ANRO, but here it comes into 10.5, and 10.5 is VWAP. Let's see if it holds up here. I could be interested in this one again, believe it or not, but if it has to set up a bit of a different way. I think I was a little too aggressive with this one, as I mentioned, off the jump. But GSIT is breaking out again. So here we go. Taking out 15, taking out 16. And now it might be moving above that 16.5. That's kind of one of the areas of resistance we were looking at. Ultimate high of day, though, 1756. That's actually where I believe it did halt at that area, 1749. No, it was this print over here that took us into that area, 1756. So GSIT holding 13.5 very well. If this comes back into 13.5 and it hasn't broken structure, I could certainly be interested in this one, even though it is a little bit risque for the moment. But REPL at the $0.75. We're still holding some on this one. I'm looking for a $10 test. It's a 991 high. Let's see if it holds up at that level. And then last but not least, the other trade we're involved in, CAN, still holding trend. So even though I'm out of the money by an entire penny, I'm going to continue to hold this one. I like the way it's looking. If it loses 210, that's my exit on this trade. Joey.
Good win there. All right, guys, we have a lot of people naming some, pointing some things out. Yeah, Gaurav, that was definitely the signal there on Tesla as it's breaking through. Again, guys, I listen, I don't want to continue to say it. I truly hate repeating myself, but let's just get it. With 627 likes, it's 400. You just got to hit the like button, and I promise you, I'm going to show you what we got going on. It's what Gaurav, Los Pollos, and Jag and I, we're talking about every single day. But, guys, all right, so for the individuals who are trading on Webull and on Robinhood with the AWS outage, please let me know what is going on, because you can see that Robinhood is climbing right back up to 348, 138. 348, that's crazy. Bull is trading up to $11, which isn't too bad. And then we got Amazon starting to climb once again. So that's not a horrible look either. So just tell me what is specifically going on. Is it quote highlights or anything along those lines? I'm curious to see. But yeah, for the individuals talking about UNH, it's starting to move, right? But there's some liquidity issues. Maybe Adara's involved in this one today. Who knows? Not today. Okay, but there it is, continuing to climb. We can take a look at it from a daily. Bang, wham, bam, and there it is continuing. Oh man, not Gaurav. Where's our guy Nimrud, man? I thought that he was supposed to be coming here, but where is he?
You want to hear what people are saying?
Yeah.
What's going on is nothing, says T27. LOL. Page, bless you, Neil. Page half loads. Data takes forever to load. Still can place orders, but very, very slow and have to refresh multiple times. YouTuber says you can't place orders, and if you are trading, you will get hammered if you don't use stop orders. So you're getting mixed reports there, Joey, depending on really who you're asking. So it looks like it's a you-know-what show.
Yeah, that's not good, man. We don't want our good friend Robinhood to go in that direction. I mean, here it is. At the end of the day, bad news. The thing's climbing up to $138. It's insane how the market thinks. You would obviously think it would go in the opposite direction. But there it is on Tesla. Beautiful print right there, right off of those lows. First one got wicked out, and then you start climbing a little bit higher, so not too bad. I have a look on TSLA. If anybody's involved on that specific print, please let me know about that as well. What are we at here? 740, Sharif. We're gonna get there today.
Close,
yeah, we're gonna get there, man. And I'm super excited, even though it may not be much, but I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, it took me some time, man. It was a lot going on. I tried to do something. I used so much of my activity on GPT that I had to go to it downgraded me. It sent me down to 4.
Oh no.
Yeah. Or whatever they have.
You got to use the work one.
I know, but so I didn't have the. I didn't have the. Yeah, I was going to. I was going to, but I'm like.
And you have Gemini too. You have Gemini Pro. Just use your work account.
Oh my God, this is so dangerous. Pro, you don't want me to start doing this stuff here.
So here's the deal. Whatever he's working on over there, you guys are gonna find out. But the point is, you may want to be quicker about it. And here's why I say that, because you guys may be on the receiving end of this, right? I'm trying to convince him to make it into a product. Now, I haven't convinced him quite yet.
But, you don't got to convince me. I will more than happily share
with everybody. Hey, that's a commitment.
Brother, I'm cool with that, man. I'm more than cool with that. I like to share, man.
I know you do, bro.
Yeah, I'm just that type of individual. So yeah, if I can eat, everybody else around me can eat too, man. That's what's going on. But let's see see Bitcoin starting to chop around. I think this might be the move. We're forming these consistent higher lows. That's positive. You can't see it that clean on this time frame, but here it is. Nice steady downtrend. A lot of these candles are overlapping each other, but that's all right. As long as we continue to go to the northeast, I like our chances of breaking through 63.40, and that's a previous pre-market high level right there. So we can get rocking and rolling. It's the exact same thing in what we were referring to a little bit in Apple, is that we've seen at the highs, let me pull it up on the daily, we were forming a consolidation, and then eventually it's like, okay, after X amount of days and it didn't want to break, well, what usually typically happens is you have a massive liquidity grab. Okay, bang, there it is. Donald Trump decides the truth that the talks with China are not going so good, and he's going to slap more tariffs. Now, okay, later on, everything seems to be fine, and sure enough, that was enough liquidity absorbed from 245. It allows you to punch through this consolidation zone and put in a brand new all-time high. It was only a matter of time until this name did it. Are we thinking supercycle on the iPhone 17? I think we are on the brink of that, Sharif. Anything north of 12% iPhone sales growth, we love it.
I know that. That was your benchmark right there. But I was saying on the big desk this morning with Brendo, anecdotally, I went in Friday afternoon to get the mom Dukes the new iPhone because of the whole thing. She picked it up.
Nice.
We got it. She's got it. Then went again Friday to get the old man a new iPad because his iPad's like 100 years old. And dude, the amount of people Friday night, Saturday afternoon at the Apple store was prohibitive. It was annoying because you're trying to get in and get out and be serviced quickly, and that was not possible.
That's not
it was not possible at the time. So it's nice to see Apple store like that. And then he was trying to sell us Apple Care. I'm like, nah, man. I've seen what Jerry Rig everything did to the iPhone. I ain't buying Apple. I ain't buying Apple Care.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
And he started chuckling there because he saw the same video. But and did you hear about the iPhone Air? And China sold out.
Oh, just like that.
Yes.
So, okay, so you're probably going to. Man, we're probably going to see some insane sales growth in.
I'm good with it, Joey. I've been waiting, bro. I've been waiting.
The super cycle that Dan Ives has been waiting for.
Yeah, he's been waiting too. He's a patient guy.
Yeah.
God bless him. All right, here we go, Joey. There's a whole lot to talk about right now because you're getting a lot of these moves. BTBT taking out levels, not at the high of the day, but it's a couple of pennies off. Look at that beautiful trend structure on BTBT. Be on the lookout for that. GSIT, yes, that is a real print. New intraday high, 1795. But as this one has shown you already twice before, this is thrice right here, Obi, my man. This is you right here. No, I'm kidding. 1795 area high, drops all the way down to loses 15. Almost drops more than $3 on that one move. But it's still, believe it or not, holding trend because it's above the 10 EMA and it's got a higher low on the current 5-minute bar. So look, you know, the money fills maybe around 13, 14, but it's holding structure. Keep your eye out certainly on GSIT. It's very volatile, so you're going to have to be able to stomach that kind of action. Otherwise, do not get involved. DGX, a holdover from Friday at another intraday high, 496. This one looks like it's destined to slap that $5 area. Be on the lookout for reversion off 5, but I do like that 470 area as a buy if it does revert. Reason being, it's a pre-market consolidation area high, as well as both these bars here in regular market hours, the 1055 bar as well as the 1130 bar, all hold that 470. So beautiful look when resistance flips to support, even if it is in the pre. So I'll be certainly keeping my eye out on that. That was, DGX Assassino. Are you paging me in my hair? Because I still can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you. All right, we're going to Adair.
Meeting is live here now between Prime Minister Albanese of Australia and U.S. President Donald Trump. Just went live. They are in a room. They're talking. Once I get any more details, I'll let you know. But this stream literally just went live. So just to let you know, Trump is speaking. Again, this is not always market related, but his comments can move the market. So just be aware. I'll keep you posted if there's anything major being said. Back to you.
Not only did Rob change all my settings, but the audio that actually asked him to fix is not working.
It's not working.
Fantastic.
So there we go. So we
fantastic. All
overcook, undercook.
Shout out to Casey, RANI. She says is running. Let's have a look at Rani. Let me just load that up on the second because this one was a strong one earlier, but I didn't put it on the side chart because it was losing trend. So let's take a look at RANI. Yeah, breaking out. Really good look there. Give me a second just to take out. Don't know why I didn't get out of everything there. That's all right. No worries. Oh, boy. RANI. Let's flip to the 5 on this one. Yeah, it's still below the pre-market high, Casey. That's why I didn't want to get involved in this one, but it was below VWAP. Now it's well above VWAP. Good look here, waking up midday RANI. Let's do some TA. So Friday's price action, 240 high on Friday. We know that. That was regular market hours. It was about 5 to 12 on the afternoon. Now it's 238 area high. So we know for a fact this is an important level, this high 230s, 240 level. The pre-market, this topping tail candle there at around 415, that got to around 218, and it was on good volume, 2.8 million shares. So I don't want to discount that level as well because there was a good amount of volume done there. It was a candle of indecision. In fact, it closed exactly flat as a result of it being yellow. So yeah, I don't mind this, Casey. I'd like an aggressive break through this 240, you know, maybe even 250 area. I'm going to keep my eye on this one, certainly. I think it does have potential to really go, but up 41 some odd percent, multi-day runner. For support, where am I looking here for support? Aside from this bottoming tail candle over here, it looks like generally trend holds around $2, generally. We'll see if that ends up holding again or whether or not this is indicative of something, this 10-10 drop over here. Yeah? Okay, we're going with Dara.
Keep an eye, guys, on critical minerals and rare earths. I look, the stocks aren't doing too much here, but Trump did explicitly say that he will be discussing with Prime Minister Albanese of Australia critical minerals and rare earths. So critical minerals and rare earths on watch. They're going to be in discussion here, but again, the stocks aren't really moving too much on this headline. Again, if I get more specifics on the critical minerals and rare earths talks, I'll certainly let you know. Back to you.
Thank you very much. LA 1769, thoughts on RVMD December options. All right, let's take a look. I'm not too familiar with this name, but we can see what's up with the technicals and then what they actually do. RVMD, Revolution Medicines. All right, so these bios I don't necessarily really love. And let's take a see if we have a look at the options chain to see if we have the liquidity that we're looking for on these here. So RVMD, Now, okay, so that's the issue that we would run into with these, right? Like you can buy some of them, but then look at the liquidity. It's extremely low. You have one contract. Like this person is so identifiable. All of them are, and you want to be cautious of these things. At the money IV isn't substantial or anything along those lines, but this is the expiration cycle you're referring to, 60 days out, December 19. I'm gonna give it to you straight. No. Oh no. Just no. Just
give it to you straight. I like it. No, you're setting him up for failure there, but
why?
I don't know. Like usually when someone says that, that means like, you know,
they're involved.
Yeah,
they're already in it.
Right.
The liquidity issue's there, so I mean, by all means. But Adair, what do you got? Breaking news.
Yeah, I just have a MANU here on watch. Manchester United making some moves. Not a ton of volume, about 500,000 shares on this candle alone in the 15-minute chart. But the Star reporting that David Beckham is in talks to front a new Man United takeover bid. Back to you.
Neil, did you happen to watch a game yesterday, Neil? I know you were busy with the Blue Jays. I respect that. But your beloved Liverpool FC was playing yesterday, Neil, and they happened to be playing Man U. Oh. Where were they playing, Neil? Where? Not at Old Trafford. Oh. They lost, Neil, 2-1 to United. I know. I respect that. I respect that.
My baby.
I couldn't be more happy. You want to know why?
Train.
Oh, bro, get out.
Isn't that the theme song?
Which one?
The one I was just singing. My baby.
I know about that one, but I don't think it's not for United. That's crazy right there. But Arsenal now clear at the top, 3 points ahead of City. I think we're 3 points. 19. City's got 16. Then your boys, Neil's boys, Liverpool, they're down into 15. They lost 3 times already this year, bro. Yeah? Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tougher look there for the good folks that you'll never walk alone. Oh, you will walk alone.
Dart Trader, you got it. That's exactly what I meant. I haven't seen that movie in, whoa, okay, Gus, don't say that, man. It's, for me, I think it's, just don't say that, please, and thank you. But no, in all seriousness, guys, there we go, continuing to climb back to these markets. We got the is, the city is going to erupt tonight if they win. Erupt.
I'm staying home,
I might have to go there. I was downtown when the Raps won. Insane. Everything was shut down. You could not go anywhere. And everybody was playing that Steph Curry theme song, which was a lot of fun. But back into these markets, guys. Sure. There goes IBIT starting to climb. This is the trend that we were talking about earlier. We're just going to be going over a lot of these names here. RVMD, we did that for our friend LA 1967 or whoever that went there. Now I got to pull up my old good friend Amazon as it's holding just a little bit below the volume weighted average price. Apple 264.21 and still climbing. This is a genuine breakout, guys. You open up right here above this high, and then you're just completely off to the races. So we open up at 255, and a $10 move in Apple is pretty big from an intraday standpoint, guys. You don't see that every day. 3 1/4 right there. So a beautiful look. Now, as for Tesla, right back at the volume-weighted average price, slightly under it. Webull and Robinhood still grinding, even though they're starting to, or even though they are experiencing some delays, poor quotes, etc. The chart, no executions. Well, guess what, guys? It's all right. Not every day you have to trade. And with that being said, have fun. Enjoy the Blue Jays. Enjoy all of us hopefully going to the World Series and not getting swept by the Dodgers. I think we have a chance.
Let's
go ahead.
Yeah. This is okay, bro. Did you see what Shohei did on Friday?
Yeah. He's the best player of all time.
What the hell is going on?
That's crazy.
I mean,
this guy made in a lab or something?
10 Ks and 3 bangers?
What?
Dude,
no one has ever
done
that. That is crazy.
I don't even want to play him, man.
No.
I don't even want to play him.
I actually want to play him.
No, bro, I don't want to play him because they're.
Yeah, we want to play him.
You want to play him, Neil?
We want to light him up, man.
All right, Neil's got guts, man. I give Neil credit. Yeah, they look terrifying.
That guy, they look absolutely
through the Brewers like they don't even matter.
No, but you got to look at it. The Jays are leading in multiple categories. I'm pretty sure they're leading. They're like first. Offense is through the roof. And the D was playing phenomenal last night. 3 times the bases were loaded, and our guy Savage just
and 3 innings back to back.
Right,
he gets the ground ball.
Exactly.
Bro.
So yeah, I mean we like what's going on with the Blue Jays.
Let me ask you something. Neil, that split finger fastball that causes ground balls, right? Because that dips at the end, which usually means hitters. That's what the point is, right? Yeah. I was doing a little bit of reading yesterday about like why they don't teach the fork ball anymore. Because I remember like the holding of the split finger fastball was similar to the fork ball, but like the fork ball. It's your hand up, and they stopped teaching it because it causes all sorts of crazy.
Everybody was getting blisters from that. Remember, I remember. Neil remembers. What was it, was it Sanchez? Remember Sanchez? He was a really good pitcher, but then he started to get the blister issues. That's when I used to.
I forgot about Sanchez. Man.
That was when the ball was flying too.
Gracious.
But Adara, what do you got for us? Oh, some crazy volume coming in.
Trump softening his stance on China once again here, saying that China has been very respectful of us and they're paying us a lot of money through tariffs. So yeah, actually, as we get a little bit of a push down in certain stocks, at least briefly, Trump is speaking positively here about China for the most part, saying that again, China's been respectful and that he still will be meeting with President Xi in South Korea. Just said we have, quote, a pretty good relationship with China. Back to you.
We'll take it. And we'll also take this fill right here on IBIT. Bang, 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 bang. Let's start rocking and rolling, guys. Okay, listen, this is going to be the last time I'm going to say it. 822 likes, 6,100 people watching right now. Let's go. Another 180, and then that's it. We're done. I'm showing you guys it. I can't wait anymore. Just get it done. Hit the like. It's absolutely free to hit that like and subscribe. And you know what? You're going to gain from it, hopefully, at the end of the day. But there it is, a big-time pop in IBIT. We were posted up right there. We caught that fill. Let's see if we're going to continue to climb. The relations with China, apparently, according to Donald Trump right now, everything is going smooth. So let's see if we can catch another fill on IBIT, and then maybe we might have to buy a little bit more Amazon down here south of VWAP, Sharif.
Yeah, Joey. It's going to be interesting. APAC Summit, I think, starts on the 28th. It goes, I think, to Halloween, the 31st. Your friend Jensen also going to be there. We're going to see how many more business leaders make the trip, of course. President Xi and President Trump, at least, as I think late as last week, we were talking about them meeting, that was possibly put in jeopardy vis-a-vis one of the truths that Donald Trump dropped. What's the point in meeting with him if all this is going on? Talking about, of course, about the critical minerals restrictions. So I'm super interested to see exactly what we get with that meeting and whether or not we get some sort of, where he takes, Donald Trump, that is, takes American business leaders with him in that same regard. So it's going to be super interesting to watch there. I think we're going back, though, to the big desk.
Yeah, more talk here from Trump with China. As I mentioned, generally, this is a bit of a softer stance, continuing his, softer stance on China over the last week and a half or so. But he did say, though, that Trump might pay a 155% tariff by November 1st if they don't strike a deal. So again, saying that generally China doing pretty well, but there might be a 155% tariff if they cannot strike a deal. He also just said that Boeing's doing really well, so keep an eye on BA. Back to you.
So there it is, 155% now. So things are going good, but you might get slapped with a 155% tariff on that one. And Bitcoin is not liking that as it's starting to sell aggressively with that inverted hammer candle printed on the 5-minute time frame there, guys, with volume supporting it. So we have to be cautious of this print here now. If we have no chance of rebounding, I thought that it was going to slightly close green, but this channel is being formed. Let's zoom out just a little bit here so you can see a little bit clearly, but now I could see clearly now. And then, so essentially there it is. There's the channel, but we might get stopped out there, guys. So cautious, cautious, cautious. The market seems slightly toppy right now, but a big time rebound. I wouldn't even call it a rebound, but a big time move in AAPL. And also as for the likes, guys, but we're almost there.
Where are we at?
We're almost there.
We're almost
946.
That's crazy. Let's just
come on, just get it done. 54 more likes. 54 more. Did you like, Shree?
Of course.
Neil,
that's like my
all right, which means everybody does their part here. But in all seriousness, not too bad. Let's run through our scan, and we haven't looked at the top performing sectors of the day, but we'll get there eventually because we have still plenty of time throughout the session. But let's get to our top volume scanners here, guys. That is going to be okay. Who is this guy? GSIT. Oh, starting to put in some volume today.
You guys talking my language.
Yeah. I mean, Sharif, opening. Did you trade it today?
Nah, man. It's moving dollars.
Got no
terrifying,
bang.
Bro.
So $15 to a high of around 18. That's 256%. We got the 1,000. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll go through a couple names. I'll send it to Sharif while I set it up, and then I'll just talk to you guys and display essentially what I got going on. Thank you very much for the links.
Keeping an eye on that GSIT. Shout out to Joey for calling that out. Good look there. Still holding a piece, guys, on Rappel. This one, I think, got into 980s. It's a 991 highs. Yeah, we're right back into the mid-80s here. Let's see if we can get into that $10 area. This is going to be, I think, the second area attempt at the 990 break. Initially, we had a double top there at 930 right at the open, which rejected, dropped all the way down to VWAP at 8 2/3. And here we are again, knocking the door. And there it goes, 988. Looking for 991 break to see if we can get that move. Rappel, guys, up 120%. Let's keep an eye out here. We got 26s, and there is the new high of the day. It is 10:01, 98's on. That's the end of the trade for me there. We're going to look to get in more now. Let's watch what it does with 10. So REPL up 120%. Good strength on this one, but we're out of shares. So what's the next move over here on REPL? Well, it's going to have to be a decided break of 10 or a retesting of some technical levels. To me, the technical level is a 10 EMA. It doesn't change from there. So that's 9 2/3. So if we get a rejection at that $10 area and a move into 9 2/3, I will be a buyer for that one for REPL at that level. Separately, BTBT continuing to hold trend as well. Fantastic look here by the crypto name. It does at times lose a 10 EMA on the wick basis, but look how quickly it retraces it. So keep your eye on trend structure here. You got the higher highs, you got the higher lows. That's been intact for a while, and it really hasn't broken. And use the upper trend line as your area of possible resistance to wet the beak at, right? It's not going to make it up there every time, but when it does, take some profits off the table. So that upper trend line for the upper channel should form some of the areas where you're looking to take profits. So that's what I'm looking at there. And then, yes, Bovin mentioning NUAI to me, and there it goes again. This is, I think, an attempt at the high of the day. This current candle has 84 highs when we know it's the 90 high that was printed right at 935. Yeah, 590 high. So right at the open, we print NUAI high right there. 590, we're 83s. So let's see if we get above that, and then we take out 6. NUAI has been consolidative for the most part today, right? You picked it up in and around 5, you're printing. It certainly did not have a consolidative day on Friday. It was a series of higher highs and higher lows. In fact, it started running aggressively into the close right around 3:45. This thing broke out quite aggressively from there, and by the time the bell rang, this thing was up 26%. What's going on over there, Katina man?
441 long.
The Katina man has got 441 long on the Cybertruck TSLA, almost 444 right now. So good trade there for Katina man. Keep your eye out on Tesla. Katina man taking Tesla long at 441. It's up 1% on the day, Joey.
Perfect stuff. All right, guys, we're going to go over to Adara with happening now, and then Neil's lesson of the day. And when we get back, you're going to get the treat of the day. Well, I'm not going to call it that, but we're going to get into what I was talking about earlier and what I've been excited to show you guys.
Bang.
Been pretty choppy here for the Nasdaq, just consolidating here near highs. Let's see if we get a breakout here on this 15-minute chart. As we can see, recently we've had almost these sell-offs starting around the 11 a.m. period. Today, though, tighter consolidation, and with Apple making new all-time highs. Let's see if this market can push higher. Now, it is a big week. Not only do we get CPI data we're expecting here on October 24th, which is going to be Friday. That was mentioned earlier by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but we also have a slew of earnings this week, and not just from bank names either. We're going to be getting some big tech players, including INTC. Now, Intel actually was up to start the day today. They did have some positive analyst notes, specifically from Morgan Stanley. They also had some neutral ratings maintained as well. So interesting look here for INTC. Netflix also strong here ahead of their earnings report tomorrow after the bell. Intel will be reporting on Thursday after the bell. And then TSLA, they have earnings coming through here on Wednesday after the bell. Now let's see how they fare after that blowout deliveries number that we had for Q3. We're going to send you over to Neil, but make sure to like and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy the content. It is worth noting, U.S. President Donald Trump still speaking. Back to you, or back to Neil.
Thanks, Adara. Usually the dog wags the tail, but every now and then the tail is going to end up wagging the dog, and it can be helpful to pay attention to when that might happen, because I was going to talk about something else, but I'm going to make it real simple with this one. Because IBIT just now did this with the market doing nothing and cruising. Like, it was trend, holding VWAP like all morning long. We were long VWAP from 10:30 into the highs of the day, and then it wicked that top and got it. It's like, well, okay, well then how did you know to get out at the top? Remember what I just said about the tail wagging the dog? Like, if Bitcoin is supposed to be the leader in the crypto space, well, what was happening when this was catching this top here? Well, if you know a certain something called Ethereum, it was losing the volume weighted average price right around that 4,000 level. So ETH, which had been going sideways and not participating in the move, started to roll right over and just lost 1.5% in the last couple of minutes. So again, whether you're looking to take profits, whether you're looking to reverse into a short, doesn't really matter, whatever it might be. But the second ETH started losing it, you started to see Bitcoin fall as well. Now, obviously, in this particular case, Bitcoin is still relatively strong, but until ETH stabilizes, then this could fill in more of the gap. I'm not going to get back into the long until I see at least this one stabilize, maybe down around 29.8, down around like 39. It could be like 39,002 or something along those lines before jumping back in IBIT. So every now and then, like, you might be looking to take profit at the high of the day anyways, but when I see ETH start to roll and fall like that, easy exit point when looking at Bitcoin. There's a reason why you keep all these things up in concert with each other. Like, you're probably not going to trade a chip name without knowing what's going on in Nvidia. You're probably not going to trade tech in general without knowing what's going on in the Nasdaq and vice versa. And this can work in either direction. Sometimes the sentiment doesn't always go with the strongest or the biggest and then followed. A lot of times it can be weakness in one of the other names that drags it down, purely on a sentimental shift. So as you just saw there, market's still strong and Bitcoin was following it. When ETH took a bit of a dive, this one was an easy exit. Allow it to calm down, because we still could hold these lows. but I want to see ETH calm down a little bit. So there's a quick lesson of the day for everybody. Crypto still in play, but ETH very, very weak and just made a top for us.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right, guys, so let's get into what I was referring to earlier. So for all my quants and everything along those lines, not mine anyways, I'm relatively new to this. So essentially what's been going on, I've been in conversation with one of our guys here in the building, a good friend of mine, Jose, and he's like, you know what, Joe, you got to automate this. And I was like, you know what, yeah, you're right, Jose, I'm sick of missing all of them, regardless of the scanner, and I'm also kind of like, hey, what if I just eliminate the discretionary aspect of what I'm looking at? So now, essentially, what I did over the weekend is I created a file in a folder, and I just went through the privilege of TradingView. I just went through months and months of charting, and I looked for a specific setup. I talk about it every single day. We're looking for hammer candles at the low. Well, the tough thing is describing and plotting where you wanted to put this. So essentially what I'm getting at here, guys, is that I had the ability to automate. It's again, we're in the early stages, but I had the ability to automate exactly what I was looking for. It took a lot of time. It spat out a lot of things, but I took its best and I said, all right, let's refine this. Let's get a little bit more detailed in what specifically we want. Now, as for what you're seeing right now, this is just minimal capital being used. So essentially what I'm displaying to you guys right now is the automation of a system that I've essentially worked on for a long, long time. So taking from what's in here and putting into ChatGPT and using it as code. Now, let's get to the list of the trades. Now, again, the dollar amount is substantially, look at the position size, super, super small. But what I want to show you is what it's picking up, and that's the most important thing. So we'll hop into this first chart, not the best example, so we'll go over onto the next one here, but it's starting to identify exactly what I'm looking for. We talk about isolated candle prints and volume. So what this algo now picks up is that specific signal. So here you can see it enters long here, relatively small size, and then the exit is a little bit long, ways away, but it never stops you out. It's always going to be a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, all right? So that is on Google. NVDA, the exact same thing. We'll pull up the list of trades, and just the ability, just what it's identifying is really important for us here. I want to make this a little bit bigger because look at these candle prints. It's just pattern recognition and taking that from what you see on a day-to-day basis, describing exactly what it is, and then being able to quantify it. So you can see how identical over the just past couple examples that we went over, that the entry and the exits are. All right, how do I get out of this here one more time? Why did it do that? No. Okay, there we go. So yeah, essentially that's what it is. It may not be too exciting for some, but for me it is, because if I have the ability to eliminate the emotional factor and just allow the algo to execute what I'm looking at, then that's absolutely perfect. Without said, I was at Amazon. I don't think the profit factor was fantastic on that one. So Amazon, not every ticker works. Robinhood wasn't horrible either. But what I'm getting at essentially is that it's picking up the right signals, and we slowly have to just refine it a little bit more. So as I continue to work on it, I'm definitely going to be displaying it to you guys, and I'll bring it to you to say, hey, this is really starting to work, and it's grabbing more of the signals that I want to be able to identify and put that into a positive algorithmic trading system. So yeah, as to what Sharif was mentioning earlier, I'm going to keep working on it, and then hopefully we can get this rocking and rolling to the point where it's picking up the majority of what I'm specifically looking for, and then we can definitely relay that to you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. It's worth the 1,000 likes in my opinion, and yeah, I'm super excited about it, man.
All right, man. I just wanted to test the waters. So I started out a new, so you guys know we've been doing the morning note that our paying customers on YouTube can get every single morning. I hope you guys have been using that. So I was doing a bit more experimenting on the weekend, and I figured, you know, one thing I would really like personally to have would be something to get me ready for the earnings week especially earnings season when there's a ton of names that are reporting every day. So Assassino or Chilean Nightmare, if we could put a poll right after I'm done this, yes or no, that would be fantastic. So this is what I came up with, guys. It's kind of like a weekly note. It would get released Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, ahead of the earnings week, and it would be for all the big names. Your Netflix, your Teslas, something like that. And it would have the following: your earnings schedule, the earnings track record, the beat, miss, last 4 times, the price action, the implied volatility, the beat percentage. You have your options market set up over here, your sector peers, how they did. For example, Disney is often cited as a comp to, to Netflix. Your analyst expectations, what they're looking for in terms of EPS and revenue. The technical. Let's cut the crap. We all want to know what the technicals are, your daily trend, your key areas of support and resistance, what the 50, the 200 are doing, and then the trading narrative. Things to look out for specifically. Are you looking for ad tier traction? Are you looking for margin expansion? So what are the analysts talking about in terms of the fundamentals? If you guys would like something like that, throw it in the chat. Assassino, if we could put a yes or no kind of poll. Do you guys want a weekly earnings note in the heart of earnings season so you guys can get prepared for your week? This is one of the new products that I'm trying to running a beta test on right now, and we did it this week specifically for Netflix, so we can just kind of get ready. So we'll throw that in the chat for you guys there. If you guys like that sort of thing, vote on it. Let everybody know that that's what you like, and that's what we'll get right on for you there. So shout out to the production team. Let me know if you guys are interested in something like that. Maybe we'll make it free for a little bit. I can post it for everybody free of charge, and we'll see exactly what the response is from there. Yes, Bovin, I see NUAI coming right back in to that $6 area. So made a 621 area high, came back down, lost 6, held 575, and here it is trying to test 6 again. So certainly keeping my eye on NUAI. Looking to work into that one. I'd like a decisive clearing of 6 before I get in on that one. There's the poll, guys. Super simple. Would you like
Who would even
a
say
weekly
no?
earnings? No. Who knows? Who cares?
Who would?
Yeah, just let's gauge sentiment to see if people are interested in something so that I don't have to waste my time if there is no interest for something like that. But yeah, it would be for the biggest names, your Teslas, which is obviously reporting earnings this week. Many other names as well. I mean, I think Intel, and you would have the biggest names separated by day. So the biggest earnings names on Monday, we would have ready for you, maybe like say the top 5, 6 on a Monday, the top 5, 6 on a Tuesday, and we go all the way to Friday, of course. And so you guys could be ready Sunday night to know exactly what to expect. If you like that kind of thing, throw in the chat, get the votes in, and hopefully we'll have that for you guys sooner rather than later, Joey.
Absolutely, man. Beautiful stuff. Look, here it is. Once again, Shrieve's going to bring you even more to the morning Shrieve's Morning Note with earnings plays, expected moves, previous expected moves. That's insane. That's huge. Look at this. IonQ. Algo picked up a beautiful signal. Look at this, Gorev. Look at this signal that it picked up earlier this morning.
What did it do,
This
Joey?
is today. Perfect entry, perfect execution, eliminating all forms of bias. This is exactly what I'm trying to construct and refine. We can go back to Tesla as well. Previous trades here from earlier in October. Beautiful. Look at these signals. Gorev, Jag, lost. Everybody, all the VPA VPA individuals. This is exactly what we're looking for. So this thing is really starting to cook up. We'll go through a couple more names on it here just to display like, hey, this is what it does. The performance, I think the profit factor is really huge as well. So if you get that over 1.3, then you're really good. Yeah, we'll go there 1 second. There's the performance, the trade analysis, shooting 50% accuracies on this right here, and just having the ability to identify exactly what we're looking for is absolutely monstrous, and I'm really, really happy about it. So there's another signal right there. There's some of them are quirks because that was supposed to be at the low of the day, and that wick didn't print it. But again, small potatoes and small bugs that we can sort through. Adara, what do you got?
Yeah, just be aware, Trump is still speaking primarily about tariffs with China and then rare earths. During the Q&A portion of his meeting with Prime Minister Albanese of Australia, he was just asked what's going to happen if you and China can't necessarily come to the table on rare earths. And he said, and I quote, "We have a great power, and that is the power of tariffs." So Trump basically saying, once again, hey, if China decides not to agree with us, not to negotiate by November 1st, they will be facing a 155% tariff. So Trump reiterating previously made statements here on tariffs, specifically with regards to China and rare earths. Again, these rare earth names not moving very much as we get this chatter. Back to you.
I just want to remind everybody, please, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button below the video. 45 to 50% of you guys, of the viewers currently right now, are not subscribed. So if you like what you're watching, if you like the news items that Adair is bringing you, if you like the trades that Joey Options is bringing, if you guys want access to that algo, you gotta be subscribed, baby. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. Obviously helps us a great deal. Lets YouTube know that you guys like what you hear, and obviously it helps with the impressions as well as everything else. So we would be greatly appreciative if you guys were able to do that. Thank you very, very much in advance, of course. Above it, I just got into NUAI. We just took a bit of a breakout there into 620. I bought the beak at 620, 622. Looking to add more and defend into 6 now that we've, looks like we've cleared 6 with a loss of 575 ending the trade for me on NUAI. We're going to keep an eye out on that. Welcome to Josh Raposo for joining Trader TV. Shout out to you, my man. Hope you enjoy your journey with us here. We're going to keep tabs on all of that, and we'll keep bringing you these small cap gappers. Currently keeping an eye on NUAI for a top break into 621. That is the area high. Looking for a general hold of 6. I'm also back into Repel. REPL, sorry, where's my REPL trade? Here it is. We're trying to build into the 10 EMA. It popped up into 1029. We do have a profit taker there, but I'm looking to ride trend off that 10 EMA, which is currently showing me 983. It did lose 10, which I definitely don't like. So I'm going to keep my eye very close on this one, looking for trend continuation, not trend breakdown. And trend breakdown to me is below that 10 EMA. So definitely don't want to take that one below that level. Shout out to D. Westermeyer. If BYND gets above pre-market high, will you buy? Dude, I was looking at BYND for a degenerate swing now that, this one's in vogue, clearly. Doing things there. Now, I don't know if, Wall Street Bets or retail is going to push this one in the same way that they did to open. But yeah, I definitely see this, man. A pretty aggressive gap up. Looks like, we lost the dollar for the first time, I don't know ever, but I don't know if it's ever, I should say, but we haven't certainly spent that much time below the dollar. So you don't really know whether it was, what kind of buying was happening at that time, whether it was to push the stock back above the dollar so it can maintain compliance, or whether it was a retail trade. We're going to be keeping tabs on it. But let's look at the 5 quickly here and look at the pre-market high. Shout out to D. Yeah, that pre-market high is $1.25. So here's what I'm going to do, D, just for you, my man. Shout out to D. Westermeyer and everybody out in Midwestern America. We're putting it at $1.24. That's the alert. So if it gets to $1.24, I'll have advance notice, and we'll weasel into it for you, D. Shout out to my man. We're going to the big desk.
Yeah, keep an eye here on BA. Trump, again, mostly talking about China during this meeting with Prime Minister Albanese of Australia. He's saying that he'll be going to China sometime early next year, and that date is apparently, quote, sort of set. So seems like there's a soft schedule, I guess, here to go to China in early 2026, despite generally speaking positively about China and saying he has a great relationship with President Xi. He also said that China's in big trouble if they don't do a relationship with him, and if China threatens them with rare earths, then he'll just keep threatening them with tariffs. He also said as well, and that's why I have Boeing here on the screen, that he could threaten China with airplane export controls. So again, BA and on watch here with airplane export controls being potentially threatened here by U.S. President Donald Trump. Back to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Data Robinson, what's up? Hey, Joseph, I'm new too from last week. Say hello. Well, hello, my friend. What is going on? Hello. Fintra, BTFD. My friend, listen, This is real as it gets. There's no paper trading going on right now, so that I can promise you wholeheartedly. So don't think that otherwise. So yeah, I mean, real dollar. Shreve, are you trading paper over there?
I'm not trading paper. Guys, look, it's super easy. If you see a ton of gateways on my level 2, it's live. You see a few gateways, it's sim. All right, I've got every single gateway under God's yellow sun. So we're good to go over here.
Right here. Look, Bats, XYZ, everything, Arca, everything. Where's Edge A, Edge X? All of the lads right there on the good old level 2, and we got the quote highlights as well too, guys. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be rocking and rolling. What happened?
Nothing.
Katina, man, share size is what matters. Sim are real.
Thanks for dunking on us, Katina, man. Appreciate you, brother. Always appreciate you, Katina, man. Okay.
Yeah, all right, bang, 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 bang. At the end of the day, let's see what we can get rocking and rolling here. Because essentially, like, I'm out of this IBIT. So once that volatility really kicked into the market, then you have to just like go with the flow. And if the volume is to the downside, then I'm not going to continuously hold on to this, especially when it comes back to my break even. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out on that. Amazon continuously holding VWAP, and Tesla right above the volume weighted average price as well too.
All right, guys, keeping an eye on NUAI. Here comes the retest of 6. You have almost a pseudo triple top at 620. Each one has a lower high. So that doesn't look very good, to be quite honest with you, when you have not significantly lower highs, but a definite trend of lower highs off a key level. So let's continue to watch. Let's see if 6 wants to be that area defend right now. We built up the position to 607, showing me 603s, packing the patience on this one, looking for a move up, maybe to take out that 6 1/4. Separately, also looking at REPL. We did well on this one earlier. Now we're a little bit out of the money. We've got 07s, it's showing me 94, so we're 13 pennies out of the money. But what I'm seeing here is a defending of the 10 EMA. Now that's the good news. The bad news is it's south of 10. So if short sellers are looking at this one and or profit takers using that $10 level as a level of resistance, well, they've certainly got a good area right here. So we're going to have a good eye on this one. So I'm packing my patience right now on NUAI as well as REPL. Separately, we also have DGXX. This one is a bit more of a slower mover, so I don't really need to, manage this one as aggressively as I need to do with the other ones. But it's got a rounded, let me tell you, this one doesn't look good at all right now when I look at it. DGXX, we got 84s on. It's actually showing me we got 81.5. It's showing me 84s. I don't think this is the right trade. It feels like it's going to break down. I'm going to end this trade right here for like basically break even or maybe a penny winner. If it can get above $5, I'll take it as a different trade. But it's got this kind of rounded topping looking shape. And, I'm definitely not in it for that. So steering clear of that. Repel. Back to this one, moving back above $10, it goes again, preceded by a doji candle that defended the 10 EMA. So are we getting the right move here? We're going to pack our patience. We added a little bit into this one, so if we can get a nice move into maybe that area high, 1029, 1033, that 10 1/3 area, we'll have to pack our patience and see. But I need this one to clear 10 decisively, again, for the reasons I just stated, which is, it's a critical area of resistance and or support. So we'll have to see how that one ends up doing. And then how's the NUAI trade doing? We took off a little bit over here, and we're going to wait to see if this one can hold. Generally, Joseph, that 5 3/4, that's where the 10 EMA is hanging out now.
All right, guys. And now for some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leveraged ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs, offering 3x bull and 3x bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60 semiconductors and on U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S. focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca 3x daily to learn more now there, folks. All right. We have not done this today, and that is going to be looking at the top performing sectors of the day. All right, top of its class bang, Katina, man. We got the tech sector up 1 1/3. Industrials sitting in second place, up 1%, guys. Materials up a little bit more than 8/10. Geez, Louise.
You all right?
Yeah.
Take over?
Take a second.
Yeah, no worries. Choke in there. All right, guys. We'll give Joey an opportunity just to set up again. Keeping an eye on NUAI as this one is coming down.
Good.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Sorry. Anyways, real estate, we're up 4/10. Consumer staples, we're still holding on to red, but just by a thread there, guys, less than 0.1%. And then utilities is down 1/4, all right? So that's what we got. Yeah, I don't need the Heimlich. I think I'm all right. It was just, I was choking on air. So if you're doing that, then you're having troubles probably. So maybe I should stop choking on air. But yeah, anyways, other than that, guys, not too bad of a look. Let's pull up our scanner once again because I brought to you the algo and what I was looking for. So we didn't get to go through a lot of the names. Here goes Mara. Once again, just not necessarily trading with Bitcoin. This is a breakout. We're now at $21. Okay, maybe not. I was speaking too soon. But we have broke out from 1621, and then we're continuously pushing up higher and higher. Can this act? What I'm thinking in the back of my head, I know I am, I apologize. So what I'm thinking at the back of the head, could this be somewhat of a leading indicator of what Bitcoin's direction might be possibly heading in? I don't know, maybe possibly. Only time will tell on that front. So there is Mara, our guy Pathic. I know you're steadily trading that name, so hopefully you're still cooking up in there. There's CleanSpark. What a beautiful bounce off of these specific levels, 2038, and continuing to climb on the intraday session. So a fantastic look there, and really, really strong price action. GLD, what is gold up to? Oh, going back up.
All-time high.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that one. Are you, Sharif?
God, no, I'm not.
The only thing is, like, this is what you want to be involved in, especially from 314. At what point is this like, okay, this is just going to continue to climb higher and higher, but I want to get involved, but I think you're a madman if you're buying all the way, GLD all the way up at 400. That's a big time move. Criminal, Sharif, starting to cool off. It was in play. I know the past couple of weeks you were trading that one.
Yes, sir. RANI is breaking out, guys. Waking up, that's a new high day, 262. Breakout as we speak happening on RANI. RANI about 57, 58-ish%. Keep an eye out on that one. Looking for good continuation here. It's 262. That's the high of the day. Show me 61. There's a big seller, iceberg order at 61. Let's see if this one can squeeze. Haven't really done any TA on this one to see what the wider time frame looks like, but RANI getting a midday break over here, so keep your eye out on that. I'll certainly be keeping my eye out on it as well. Continuing to watch NUAI drop below 6. I don't mind punching. Oh, this is the prior area of resistance over here. So this is an interesting ad. So let's keep an eye out here on NUAI for a possible continuation. I'm talking about that 930 double top that it put in, 935 and 940, got to about 590. On the wicks, the closing prints got to about 581 or 580. And that's actually where the 10 EMA is right now, 580 on NUAI. So if this doesn't hold 580, I mean, that's really the end of the line for me. We're not going to be DCing into this one, but a good look right now for that one. Let's see if it comes back in and holds some technical levels in and around this area. Can definitely get in a little bit more here, given that we're so close to the stop price. We might as well be adding to these levels. But let's go back to RANI because it's still trading near highs. Still showing me 260, even though the high of day is 262. It's not really giving up the ghost, at least not quite yet. I see a possible breakout level at around 245. That's where we had a couple of prints reject on RANI before dropping back down into the 10 and then taking it out from there into that 262 area high. And here we go again, the bid coming in aggressively on RANI. Still unable to shake that 62 level though. So whatever profit taker or short sellers really got it out for this 262 level. And here we go. Look at that. There we go. Now we get the break of 62 into 64s. Do we get continuation on RANI though? It's so thickly traded. Look how long and how many shares are churning at 64 into 65. We go. Good strength here from RANI. I don't know about this one, getting into highs like this, and it's having a lot of trouble taking out levels. You feel there's a lot of selling coming into the buying as well. It feels like maybe a bit of an equilibrium right now between buyers and sellers. Let's keep an eye out on RANI and see exactly where this one goes. That's all I've got at the moment. What else we got? NUAI popping back into 90s. Good add there. Looking for continuation in a 6, but won't add until this one takes out 6 decisively. So we did add at the bottom of that candle right here into the previous area of support. I'm talking about that 935, 940 double top. Holds that area, but no continuation yet through 6. Showing me 99s, but no continuation. So keep an eye on that. And Hangry Wife, judging by Friday on Rainy, it looks like it will go up just slower than you would want. Yeah, certainly. I definitely want them to move a lot quicker. So yeah, the capitalized U there, absolutely appropriate. But yeah, we'll have to take what we can get, man, because we don't decide how quickly this one moves. We are a market observer, not a market mover, Joey.
Oh, big time, yeah, big time market observers, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So rock and roll, and those big rivers and rapids are gnarly. They have wanted to create standing waves. People surf, yeah, exactly. So Mike P. DeRider, a little off topic here. We'll get right back into the market. So what I used to do is like massive excursions, like weeks long. I think the longest time I ever spent on a river was 3 weeks, and we were just canoeing the Petawawa in Ottawa, Ontario here, and going down rapids. And I told everyone the story of when I saved a kid. His name was Mike. We were going down a rapid. Our canoe upset. We hit a pillow rock. Our canoe upset, and his head was trapped under. His body was trapped under the canoe, and his head was on the other side of it. And the rapids were just drowning him. And then what I did is I lifted the canoe, and when I did that, my knee hit a rock, and I split my knee wide open, and I caught. I could see my kneecap and everything. What? And I was at the right end of the. I was at the very end of the trail. Any further, I would have had no one been able to come and get me. I would have been having the rest of the trip with that. So I was fortunate enough to get moved from the last point there to the hospital. And then I went. I got the doctor stapled me up. Went right back, and I was in the rapids once again. Yeah. Savage. I was a young kid at that.
Bro.
Yeah, savage. It was great times, man. Yeah. So shout out to Petawawa and those who are all familiar with it up there in Ottawa. The kid's name was Mike. I'll never forget it. But yeah, anyways, guys, let's take a look at some other names here. I'm not in anything right now. I think I'm going to get involved in a little bit of Tesla, even though I'm not in love with what we got going on with it. Tina Man's in and at a fantastic price, but there's multiple indecision prints that I like across the board here. You can see hammer candle 1, 2, and 3. The algo wouldn't have picked this up because why? It's closing as a bearish candle, but what I'm going to do is slightly adjust it so it catches full bearish prints right there. Why? Because I seen one on a ticker I was just looking at, and I'm like, hey, I wanted to pick this up, but there's another indecision print right at the volume weighted average price. Let's get involved in this name, relatively small, just to see what we can cook up. We're going to go like a quarter risk unit to start off because our trade on IBIT was phenomenal, and we had a good start to Monday. Last week, full disclosure, it was tough. It was a really, really tough week for me last week. So yeah, aside from that, let's rock and roll. Let's get Tesla cooking up here, guys, and see what everyone else is looking at in the chat. AMD, yeah, let's pull up AMD. I seen the breakout on NVDA earlier in the morning, and I'm like, oh no, I wish I got involved in this one, but that shoulda, coulda, woulda, and what if history. We don't play that. We only go with what we're currently trading right now, but AMD, another big time monster move. I was talking about this 250 level. Let's pull up that strike price and the expiration right now to see if we've grown in open interest, because I think that's going to tell a lot. They can be like, hey, we're going to head towards 250 by the end of that expiration. And it's funny because AMD, the next one is November 21st. Why doesn't this thing have weekly options? Get with it. But as for 250, 14,400, 3,300 contracts traded at that specific level. I think it's starting to grow. We can reference what I was looking at earlier in the day. But for now, Adara, what do you got for us?
What I have here is a TXG, guys, 10x genomics to the upside. Sharif, this might be your type of name. It's got a $1.5 billion market cap and a short float here of 11.4%. 10x genomics and Anthropic partnering up here to make single cell and spatial analysis more accessible through Claude for life sciences. So nice collaboration there between Anthropics and this stock here. TXG, I do want to remind you guys, 11.4% short float. Back to you.
Cool. So yeah, as for advanced money duplication right there, new all-time high on that one. So fantastic move. I mean, we were talking about this. I'm like, it's going to take a long time for AMD to recover off of these April lows, considering that it was in over a year and a half downtrend. Did I ever think that from April 8th to where we're currently trading at, we would be up 215% and establishing a new high off of that 227 level? Absolutely not. Lisa Su and company doing a fantastic job over there, striking deals left, right, and center. Let's go.
All right, Joey. I got nothing on. Everything's breaking down right now. Let's bring in the side charts. They're all dropping below technical levels. BT's losing VWAP. GSIT is really the one that's still holding trend of higher lows. Not necessarily higher highs, but definitely higher lows. NUAI came into the 10 EMA, lost it. DGX is around the top, losing trend as well. ACHV is breaking down below VWAP. REPL stopped me out, man. It broke 10. It had nice higher highs, higher lows, holding the 10 EMA, as well as taking out $10. And then that one felt like a bull trap because it dropped right down into the 70s. Again, it's up 120%, so it's certainly got a lot of buying, just not exactly at this level. So we'll look to execute a little bit better on it. CAN looks like it's headed for VWAP, and RANI, it printed 271 high a day, so technically did take out that pre-market high, which is around 267. So that breaches there. But yeah, I guess, you know, short sellers were seeing that as well, or profit takers, because it went right back down, lost the bid into 250. Now, most notably, it's still holding higher lows. So RANI is not really breaking trend in that sense. It just didn't have the continuation right into 3, like as if, you know, I would have wanted that, obviously, but I did not get it. So we'll keep tabs on all these at the moment. I've got nothing on, so we'll keep an eye out on the scanner. TT Mass saying MGX. Let's have a look at MGX, see what that one is up to. MGX. A little light on volume for this one today. Here's what I'm seeing on this one. What do we got in terms of volume on this bad boy? 492,000. You're up 9 1/3, so it's not a bad percentage move on the day. What's the daily look like? You're getting a nice trend locally anyway. You're probably coming from a lot higher, which is normal with a lot of these small caps, but at least you're above the 200 moving average, and you've been putting in higher highs and higher lows since the tariff tantrum back in early April. Since early April low, by the way, from that other price spike we got, 260% in Greensville, not current price action, but that price spike into 4 from a few days ago. So MGX is not bad. It's just volume-wise on the day, it's not going to cut it for me. Like these 5-minute candles are doing about, 12,000 max. Shares more like, 5,000 on average, though, on MGX. So, yeah, I can't really manage risk as well as I would like on that one. But NUAI looks like it's breaking out again. So, probably need to weasel back into this. I should have been giving it to 570, but I was adding aggressively. So, let's see if this one can get back above 6. If it gets back and holds above 6, I'll get back into this one. No problem with that. It's just got to get back above 6. And then RANI is right back into that new high day again, 272. That just printed, but just like it did prior to that, it makes an area high, and then it's met with aggressive short selling or profit taking. So I'm really unsure how to square this circle right now on RANI or NUAI, both for that matter. The NUAI is a bit more straightforward. If it gets back and holds above 6, we could certainly get involved, and here it is now looking like it's breaking trend into 6. But yeah, look at that. Profit taking and or short selling right into that whole dollar level pushes this one right back down. So it's got a decent trend on it, but a bit of a back and forth right now with this whole dollar level. Shout out to Patrick,
hey.
Sharif, and Joe. Straight gangsters, lay off the creatine.
No, it's funny. Did you see what I wrote in there?
No, I didn't. Where is it at? Oh, I just bought a year's supply. Didn't you do that before?
On Saturday.
You bought a year's supply last time as well.
Last time, but now I re-up, man. So I bought another one on Saturday.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So last week when I was sick, I didn't take it for like 3 days.
And you felt? Did you feel?
I did it, but it's up in here. You know what I mean? Because you have to be taking that consistently. And
it is. You know what, dude? I'm not even gonna lie. consistent creatine performance just across the board, like on the ice, it's just better for some reason.
Hockey?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Yeah. It's just like, even though I always had a pretty good gas tank, but now it's just like I can just keep going later on in the game. And that, I think that's just one of my strengths, is that when everybody else is getting tired, I'm still running around the same pace, just a little bit cooler. And I'm like, yeah, we're rocking and rolling, man. So yeah.
We were was at the club, not the nightclub, but the club on Sunday, playing tennis. So we were outside
before the rain, obviously.
Exactly. I was about to get to that. So we're on the clay courts, and then it just starts coming down, right, dude? The clay courts are a different beast when it's raining. You gotta get. So we went inside. We played on the hard courts for a little bit.
That's
completely different bounce. So your bounce off the hard court, and if you're coming straight from clay, it's like you're almost playing a different game. Your timing is completely different.
Yeah. You get more of a hard like the more
way harder
bounce.
And you can't slide as aggressively to reach the ball. You got to like actually stop, which is a completely different technical method there, but. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get back.
Let me cover one thing here, because thank you for that super chat there, brother. And we ain't laying off the creatine, that's for sure. More, if anything, more. But as for RCAT, guys, an individual in the chat was asking us about this name and said, hey, what do we think about that via options? We can take a look at them. Puerto Rico-based provider product services, drone industry. Yes, that's what it was, drones. Let's see what the at-the-money IV is, RCAT, to see if we can even think about it. So you're at 124%. I would wait for that to cool down a little bit there, because that's one thing that's important. So on this downward move, you can see that the implied volatility is really starting to pick up, and that's something that you need to be cautious about, right? So again, if you really want to get involved with this name, I think the best start to this is going to be via shares. Let the at-the-money IV cool down, and then you can start to amplify and really, what's the word I'm looking for? Leverage your system via options, all right? So start with shares, because you're not going to be affected to implied volatility, but your options contract will. And just to display it to you guys what specifically I'm looking at, 4 days out, 125. Even if you go a little bit more, you can still see that it's triple-digit stuff. This is not what we want to see. We want to see low digits. We'll take a look at the Amazon contract that I bought. It's just one to get started. Half shares that were nice at what was it, 213.40. I'm in roughly around there. So I bought the 215 strike price, expiring in February or March. But you can see 35% at the money IV. This is when I want to be buying, because it's relatively cool, right? And then sure enough, some of the VIX can tell you, hey, there's not too much fear within the underlying asset. Let's rock and roll and get some contracts rolling there. But as for Tesla, starting to head towards the volume-weighted average price, we were in at the lower end of the range. We're not going to piece anything out just yet, but not too bad of a look right there on TSLL.
Attaboy, Joey. All right, continuing to watch NUAI dilly-dally here, a little above 6, a little bit below. It really hasn't decided, so neither have I. I'm going to continue to wait until this one decisively takes 6, otherwise I don't get in. Shout out to D. Westermark talking about BYND. He's like, look, bro, your alert's going to trigger very, very soon. So I took a look, D, and I see why. I've got my trigger at 24s. High of the day that he just printed there is 20s. So shout out to D. Westermeyer, man. BYND could be running for a couple of days, and I wouldn't be standing in front of this freight train if you're a short seller, because we all saw what happened to Open Door, at least locally. Whether or not it ends up mean reverting, or you're able to afford to keep adding more into your short. That's just not really my style, but some people do that who have a lot of liquidity, a lot of money, and then they end up getting, they do better than break even, quite frankly, from what I've been seeing online. But it's unlimited risk, so it's not just it's not my style to do that. But BYND, very, very strong today. 82% and change. It had a good day Friday as well. Let's see where this one is headed to today. But RANI is coming back into local area highs, and it's got a seller at 70. Rani has a seller at 70, give or take. But it is bull flagging here. So let's see if we can work in to RANI and then see if we can get something maybe through that 70 penny area. Joey, what do you got, my man?
I'll tell you what we got right now. For too long, trading meant risking your own money, or never having enough to start. See you later, PDT. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit that profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Shh. Tina, man. Shh.
What happened?
Tesla starting to cook up there. Yeah. Shh.
You gonna jinx it?
Yeah, we don't want to jinx it. We're already moving on, man. There's nothing to jinx. It's already written in destiny, Sharif. What will be, will be. There's no changing it. It's written in the depths of the books, everything. I don't know what I'm talking about, but let's go Tesla. See if we can get a break. I'm still looking at the specific names. I'm swing trading Amazon, so we're going to get a full-on analysis day by day until I'm out of that position. But there goes Bitcoin, up nicely on the session. But I think we're going to head in and start feeling this gap potentially, because whatever that news Donald Trump brought us, not too good of a look as the crypto space continues to bleed on today's session. Now, no one makes me bleed my own blood. There it is. ETH, you know what that's?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So there it is.
I don't know too many movie references, bro. I'm not a movie guy, but I knew that one. That was excellent. That's what is it, Dodgeball?
Yeah, Dodgeball. Yeah. It's Ben Stiller.
It's Stiller,
yeah, Ben Stiller.
What do they call him? The Jewish Brad Pitt?
Yeah, they call him that? Jokes. Yeah, that movie's hilarious. Shout out to Patches O'Houlihan over there. Patches. So 30-34, you break that support level on ETHA, and you're continuing to bleed, starting to fill the majority of this gap. Sure.
All right, Joey, we took the breakout there on Rani, but it's not continuing. 280 high. We've been scalping some out there. It's got sellers at 75 now. RANI, it's been strong, but it seems to be met with aggressive selling on every attempt up. Is it easy to borrow? I'm looking at my brokerage. It doesn't look like it's not easy to borrow, actually. Now, it's a huge seller at 75 here, and it's an iceberg order because barely anything coming out on the ask side of level 2. Let's see if this one wants to price spike up back into some profit takers that we have over here. No, it looks like it's going to sell off, so that's going to get me out of the trade. We'll get back in at the 10 EMA on this one, so keeping my eye there as I watch BYND continue to accumulate at 20s as well. Shout out to D Westermeyer, the Tranquil channel up, going up. Big green candle on the 3-minute. Let's look at UP. See what this one's up to. All right, not bad. Kind of light on volume though for up. What do we got? 3.5 million shares on a $1.65 name, 6.82%. Looks like there was certainly selling in and around 160, breaks through that 160 area, and now it's looking at 167 in the face. So not a bad look there. I'll keep tabs on that one, but I want to get involved with the one that's doing the most volume right now, and that's RANI. I just want to set up at a more appropriate price. Having it into the high is a little bit dangerous. So look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in small share size, because what I was doing was I was adding aggressively at the entry, and that made me a little bit nervous, because if it went against me, well, then that would be no good. So we'll look to work our way into that price level that we like so much, which is the 10 EMA showing just a little bit below 260, more like 256, 255, in and around that area. So we'll keep an eye here on RANI. Back into 75, spiking up into 76. Let's see if we can get another big move up now on RANI. Certainly has higher lows, but it needs that higher high through the 80s. Not much else, man, going on. Nermin, Ulker. Why is Oracle crashing? I'll have a look at Oracle for you. We'll see what was going on there. I don't know if it's crashing, but let's take a look. What's Oracle doing? Oh, it's selling off, certainly. Yeah, 5.5%. Yeek. Okay, so Oracle taking it on the chin today. Let's have a look at if there's any news on Oracle. I just see Sunnybrook Health Sciences. What the hell? Isn't that like down the road from here? Austin, no. Sunnybrook Health Sciences. Is that like our Sunnybrook? No, it looks like it's going to be Austin. So I don't even see a bad headline here. Sunnybrook Health Sciences selects Oracle Health Technology. That was at 9 a.m. Do we have anything else? Oracle enhances public safety suite for real-time data intelligence. That's not really the one either. Looking more and more, that was 8 a.m. Anything before that, HSBC raises target to 382 on Oracle. Not really seeing anything, to be quite honest with you, but we know that Oracle has, been selling off a little bit after that huge move up when they announced their 2030 guidance up to 345. So we're certainly down about 20% off those levels if you're looking at the wick. If you're not, if you're looking at the closing print, we're down about 17.5% given the current price action right now. So I really don't know why. This is the 50 moving average, though, on the daily. So possible support here. If it doesn't hold here, I'm certainly looking as a buy area for myself, 260. That's the breakout area. That was previous area high before we broke out and came right back down. So I like the 50. The 50 held up before, most notably, I would say, October 7th. It price spiked down to the 50, held it. But this is an ugly kind of topping tail breakout there from the 16th. That's a no good, if you ask me. So I'm not really sure why Oracle's selling off specifically, but it could be valuation concerns, of course, as they are really guiding very, very down the line into 2030. There's been, different reports, most recently from The Information, who's questioned Oracle's gross margins on their data center rentals, right? They say it's more like 30 some odd percent gross margins. The Information was positing it was more like in the teens. And then also when you compare Oracle's number of 30 some odd percent gross margins to CoreWeave's got something 50 something percent gross margin. So it may not be the best play if you're looking for which one to deploy your money into. So I have really no idea exactly what's going on in the day, but that's my look there.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, we're looking at it. Case and I in the chat talking a little bit about Bitcoin there, saying, yeah, it got trumped, which I think is a little bit funny. Yeah, I think it did. It sold off. Again, we looked at this name from a daily. Let's pull it up here as I got my old little, I'm just going through some names here and picking up some signals. I wish I could, what I wanted to do is I had another script essentially made, and I'm like, hey, I want to go through everything that they had and then just eliminate the trade because it's data through X amount of time, right? Oops, we don't want to be in stocks. And I'm like, hey, if I can just go through the list of trades and say, hey, don't take this, take this, take this, and take that, that would be absolutely phenomenal because that'd be just like, again, trial and error and just a process of elimination at the end of the day. But there goes Bitcoin. Guys, we were talking about this for some time.
Up or down? Up or down?
What do you mean?
Bitcoin.
Right now, it's up.
Oh, I thought you said there goes. I thought it was moving.
No, it is moving down.
Yeah.
But I'm like, again, I'm talking about from longer, like past couple of days, right? There it goes. From that support level, and then there's that indecision print with the volume supporting it right there, guys. So we might get an additional bounce. I was thinking mid-teens. If we are going to break through, then that would be amazing. Is this enough liquidity absorbed? Maybe, hopefully so. Over-leveraged individuals here. And I'm just really thankful enough to have gone out right there before I started to buy back in this. So not too bad of a look on BTC. Ethereum starting to put in an indecision print as well, too. The algo won't pick this up. Why? Because look what's going on the 5-minute. Okay, so performance, yeah, so it's not performing that good. I found that some of the ETFs don't perform as good as some of just individual stocks, but there it is. I think I'm going to write the script so that it catches some of these signals as well too. At the low of the day, that might be a good area for a potential bounce in ETHA, but once the majority of the wick is starting to get covered, avoid it at all costs, all right? So yeah, going back to this stuff here, guys, just having a little bit more fun and referring to just some of the prime time entries that it's looking for. So you can see the similarities, and that's what you want, is that you're not implementing any form of bias, is that once the technicals show you a specific thing, then you just get involved with it right out of the get-go. I did some on it, and the thing is, though, it's not profitable on every underlying, so I don't know from again, going back to the process of elimination, do I go back and say, hey, these are the names that it's working on? stick with that basket of stocks and just avoid everything else. But what works today may not work tomorrow. So yeah, UNH is on one today, absolutely, Jameson and Mark Sushi. It opened up at 358, now trading at 364, so not too bad of a look there. I'm going to get involved in small size in ETHA just because of the signal, and we might get a potential bounce. It's yet to have cracked the low, so I like our chances there. Just using a little bit of today's realized to get involved in some names to see if we can amplify it a little bit more. But again, nothing substantial whatsoever. We're going like fraction of risk units right there. Now, what was a good name that I had up on here?
Which one was
let's see. I got to figure it out now. My brother, man. My brother. So yeah, Robinhood, not too bad. Only picked up one. But see, look at the time frame. This is September 8th to October 20th, right? So we're not going back. What I was running over the weekend had a substantial bigger time frame and picture. But one thing to note, I think if we stay more selective, yes, you're going to be in less trades, but the probability drastically starts to increase. And I think that's the objective, right? Is just slowly accumulate wins over time. And sure enough, once you get that exponential growth, you just accumulate, and eventually the size becomes substantially bigger. And what was once a small trade is 5 or 10 times larger than what it previously was. But there's another example on Robinhood, not too bad. So yeah, gonna continuously work on this. I'm gonna see if Jose's here after the bell, and I'm gonna talk to him about a couple of things.
You see your boy Joey Bat throw out the first pitch yesterday?
Joey Bat,
he got an ovation.
Yeah, big. You have to give Joey Bat.
Oh, 100%.
I love that team, man. Like with Edwin and Carson.
Oh yeah.
Troy Tulowitzki.
Tulowitzki and the bringer of the rain. Donaldson, Kevin Pilar.
That was a good time. Pilar's
Ryan Owens.
Yeah. That was a good team. Pilar played in the outfield for
Superman, bro.
So
Center fielder,
long, man. Yeah. For like, I feel like he was.
He was there for a hot minute.
Yeah, his whole career was essentially with the Blue Jays. I think. I don't know. Those guys would know a little bit more than me on that one.
It feels like no center fielder for the Jays has, like, had the type of defensive skills as Devon White. Because I saw Varsho, you know, he tried running that ball down in center field. No one could do it like Devo,
and
bro.
Same,
that's
Addison, what's his name?
Addison Barger?
Yeah, Barger. Yeah,
excellent.
Barger,
Good hitter.
Yeah.
Guys, you're getting the breakout right now on BYND. There's the take of the pre-market high. We're involved at 20. There's 25. That's a high of day right now on BYND. It's squeezing out the shorts here into 93 almost %. Let's wet the beak at the $1.25. Keep your eye out on Beyond Meat. There's a prohibitively large seller at the 1 1/4, and that's just what we can see. Shout out to my man D Westermeyer. If I had animations, I'd be hitting them, D. But alas, we're animation-less. So we're going to continue to watch here. I get whatever you got there, Katina Man. There you go, Ozan. The Katina Man gifted you the exploding money cow. So
here's everyone's favorite.
Here we go. That's soft, Katina Man.
What is it? Oh, man.
Bro, when I laugh, it's bad. It's bad.
I don't get it. What is the context behind this one here?
Data?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. Yeah. Did Brendo ever?
Stock data, DADA.
Stock data. Oh,
yes. There was a stock that was called Data. I guess Brendo liked it once upon a time. It's still there. Katina Man says it's still there.
All right.
Yeah.
So shout out.
It's available for
data.
anybody who wants it. Yeah, I am talking about BYND BK. Are you not looking at the screen, bro? We're talking about it, my man. We're long. We're looking for that 125 continuation. Look. 10 EMAs at 118. Let's see which way this cookie crumbles, man. On BYND, we've got a lot more outs. So let's go ahead and post at 26. We're going to post at 27. And you know what we're going to post after 27? We're going to post at 28. So let's see if we get the continuation.
I was going to say 69er.
69er. Just before we start the news, I know we're a little bit late today, guys, but we're still trading. I want to point out we still have this, what's it called, this poll. Would you guys like a weekly earnings note that would basically summarize all the big earnings play coming up for the week? This is sort of my beta test today. I did it over the weekend for NFLX. This is the kind of thing you're going to have on it. Your trading narrative, your technicals, analyst expectations, the earnings schedule, the earnings track record, how often they beat, how often they miss, how much do they beat by, and look at this, price reaction. The last report, Netflix dropped 5.1% on a 1 day. But when you look at the average one-day move for Netflix post-earnings, it is plus 8.5 to 11%. This is the kind of stuff you're going to have, this more quantitative stuff in this type of note, in addition, of course, to the technicals and the fundamentals that will both be there. So if you kind of like this thing and you want to see it on a weekly basis on your Sunday night prep, your Monday morning prep, get into the chat right now and vote to see or vote yes to this whole thing. It's right there. How many votes do we got, Joey? We got about 1,100. Decidedly in green territory, 75-25. Someone told me that they voted no. Because what happened? Oh, we didn't do the push-up contest yet. So they're like, I'm voting no as a protest.
So they want to double. they want to take the double L on that one there.
Whatever, it's all good.
Double L to each their own, man. I'm not about those double L's. I'll tell you what I am about here, though.
Sir. Which one are you about? Oh no. Get it. All right, Joey, look, I got to cover this.
Okay, go ahead. I got something cooking too.
Yeah, BYND losing 20. If it loses the 10 EMA, it ends the trade. So the breakout level, the way that I see it, is around 15. So we might give it a little bit more room. The 10 EMA is at 17, 18. But the breakout level, and I'm talking about this area right here, these two candles at 11.15, 11.20. If it loses that level, that ends the trade for me. We're going to keep an eye out on that. How does it differ from Adair's info? It doesn't really, but it's just going to be there on Sunday, right? So you're going to have it in addition or prior to your week. So if you're getting ready Sunday night, a lot of traders do, right? They get ready Sunday night. They want to know especially what's running Monday. And if it's earnings season, you want to be ready for every day. So it doesn't really differ in any meaningful way, except it may have more information. Check it out. I'll probably put it free for a little bit, so we'll have the audience kind of test the beta test with us, and then it'll have to go for premium or for YouTube subscribers, of course, Joey, just like the morning note. What do you got, my man?
Yeah, all right, man. Let's see what we got going on here. Sports and stonks. You're funny. No, you're a good time, my good friend. So there it is, 29.75, or a little bit 29.77. We'll take that one in a nice little pop on Ethereum there to see if we can get rocking and a rolling.
Rocking and
still big time. Why is it that every time I start talking, I get the hiccups here?
I don't know why.
Hydration Nation, shout out No Hesitation Nation around here. So yeah, we're bang Hydration Nation, and yeah, I mean, there it is, guys. A nice little move off of those lows, looking for that that indecision print off that aggressive selling. Maybe we can get a move back into the volume weighted average price. That would be very, very nice. But again, we're really, really small here, just holding on to what we got cooking up from the Bitcoin trade earlier this morning. We need another intro. Oh, you want? Oh, don't say that, Darth. That might be Sharif's thing. I think that would be a good one. Darth Trader saying that you should get. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? That entry music, because I got Steve Austin here.
Yeah, I don't mind the Rock. I don't know if he's my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
I don't have to think about that.
Oh, really? Goldberg for me, hands down. And I like Kane as well too. We like Kane back in the day, because no one really liked Kane. And then you have to go Kurt Angle, because everybody said he sucked, but he didn't really suck that much. He was pretty good. So no, but in all seriousness, guys, a nice little move in ETHA. Amazon just chopping and churning in this specific zone. Anything south of this 214 level, I think I'm going to be a buyer of. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat still saying that they're having trouble with their Robinhood login. Yeah, and that's not something that we want to hear. It's obviously not good. I'm glad that you can use it on your mobile phones and get out of positions if you are stuck in some. So yeah, go that route if you need to. We're going to send it off to Adara. We're going to piece a little bit more out here on ETHA. Bang, we caught that fill. Not too bad of a move there, guys.
Yeah, take a look here at AMZN. Not really moving here, but on watch after Amazon Web Services just announced that their underlying DNS issue has been fully mitigated. So their underlying issue here with DNS or domain name systems, that's apparently been mitigated. Back to you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so Los Polios said he can trade his options on there. Says Los Polios. Yeah, that's unfortunate there, my friend. Yeah, I mean, so you guys see my dreadlock picture, and for those who remember, they used to call me Carlito Caribbean Cool. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
Carlito Caribbean Cool.
Yeah,
that's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah.
Hilarious, bro.
So that's what that's not cool. Yeah, so that's what they used to call me. But here it is, another out on ETHA. Let's go over a couple of names. What are you guys specifically looking at? We'll go over some of the options activity on the SPY and the Qs in the meantime until I see Yeah, so there it is, Carlito. There's Carlito, man, right there. Caribbean.
No, but there is a bit of overlap there.
Yeah,
you gotta admit. And like,
cool,
you guys got the same skin color. You guys got the same hair.
Yeah.
Like, can we put a side by side?
Put a side by
we
side
gotta do that.
Carlito Caribbean.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull up Carlito WWE. Let's see what we got here.
Carlito Caribbean.
No. We need the old Carlito. Let's go 2004, 2005. Because that's when he was. Yeah, he was young. There we go. That's what we're talking about there. Yeah, he's definitely a bit beefier. You're leaner than him, Joey. He's got a little bit of,
Yeah, well, I wasn't saucing.
No, but he's a different breed there, Joey.
He's a big. Those guys are all big dudes, man.
He's hilarious, though.
We'll send that to Assassino, and then we'll get the side by side there. I know when I first started, you guys were calling me Blake Griffin, and I'm like, I don't know if I really look like Blake Griffin, and Ram would always be trolling me. So we're posted up on ETHA once again. Let's see if we can catch that fill. That's going to be a nice move. But let's get back to the options activity and on the SPY to see what we got going on those 0 DTEs. Bang, we caught that fill up there, Sharif.
Okay.
Yeah, we like it on SPY. Me like it. Very nice. So there it is, 672, putting in substantial. I guess the open interest is still high. We got more volume through the 670 and the 671s there. So not too bad of a look. 219,000 contracts there, and 225,000 right at that 671. So some odd numbers, but we'll go over to another day expiration. Not everything hasn't rolled up. So all the degens, as you would like to say, running the 0 DTE, Sharif.
Not the G-gens, really? Not the D-gens?
0 DTE out there, obviously being sarcastic. I tried dabbling in them. It just wasn't for me. I was just getting lit up left, right, and center trading those things.
All right, let's start the news, guys, because we're getting a little bit late. It's 5 after 1. I still got some positions. I just want to throw out some stops here, Joey. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go 113, and then we're going to drop down to 110, and then we have to go for that many. So we'll stop out there. And then how about my RANI trade? RANI, to me, is a loss through 60. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll give it a little bit of room as we typically do. And we will not load the trading screen as our reading screen. So we'll do that. Just a second, guys. Give me 1 second to set up here. Yes, we are good to go. It's not too big of a news day, quite frankly. There was obviously some stuff running in the morning, but I was definitely having some trouble finding a lot of news stories today. So let's get right down to business, baby. Apple, the monster today, 4 2/3, strongest name in Mag 7 world. Good demand, it looks like, for the new iPhone. So Apple is experiencing its fastest smartphone growth since the pandemic, driven, of course, by iPhone 17 demand following the September debut. Supply chain data from different analysts shows stronger than expected sales momentum, with analysts highlighting robust carrier and retail demand heading, of course, into that very critical holiday season where we expect them to do their best sales for, of course, the iPhone. Analysts now are projecting iPhone revenues to rise about 4% for the fiscal year 2025, up to a little bit less than $210 billion. And then they're looking for 5% growth next year into 26. That's Visible Alpha citing that data. And Bank of America, for their part, they noted that shipping times are up 13% year over year, signaling sustained demand strength across major markets. Just to give you an anecdotal piece of information, as I was talking about on Friday, I went with my mom, Dukes, to the Apple store to pick her up the new Pro Max, and she had basically, we checked online before we went there, and it said that they had the model that she was looking for, but when we got there, it was like, oh, well, they're sold out. And so she had to get the one above it, so by the size above it. So, just from my condo to Yorkdale, which is not that long, which is a mall near my area, it's like a 10-minute drive. It was sold out. So it gives you an idea how quickly these things are moving. Apple will report Q4 earnings on the 30th of October, with iPhone 17 sales, of course, expected to play a key role. And they're saying store traffic and channel checks point to much stronger orders than for the last year iPhone 16, according to IDC. And then I saw separately another headline on Friday that the iPhone Air was sold out in China. Now we know that it was delayed. The launch of the Air was delayed in China, and so maybe that kind of made things a bit more exciting with some pent-up demand. Who knows, Joey? In any event, the market liking it in Apple at all-time highs.
Yeah, absolutely. We know our guy Marquez loves the iPhone Air. He thinks it's a spectacle. Obviously, if you're looking to take videos and everything along those lines, apparently it's not the one, but just how thin it actually is insane. But then when you add the battery, you have to add a battery pack. But surprisingly, it performed significantly better than what he thought it was going to. But as for the iPhone sales, is this going to be the super cycle that Dan Ives was waiting for? He thought the 16 would be it, considering that he thought that Apple Intelligence was going to be integrated into the software. That has not been the case so far, but the sales and the growth in, the iPhone sales seems that there's going to be plenty of demand for that. What the street is looking for, I think we're going to get a little bit of a surprise, and the street loves surprise. If that iPhone sales comes in better than expected and substantially larger, watch out for this name to continue to climb, and you're going to see some numbers in Apple that you would have never personally thought. I think that they're going to beat it across the board. I think service revenues are going to be up as well too, Sharif. I like our chances with Apple. I think it's going to be a good look leading into the earnings report.
And I didn't mind that F1 headline. Obviously that they got to ante up and dole out money to get the F1 rights, but yeah. I was talking to Brendo, and F1 is just booming in popularity in North America. Well, you know, it was already popular in Europe. I mean, the question there, but it's a nice new drive into a new market, and to have the rights for that, not a bad look.
Instead of going left and real fast, right? Going real left and going real fast. That's NASCAR.
Oh yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah, I totally missed that. I was asking him, is there overlap between the sports? He's like,
no, not whatsoever.
I don't know anything about this.
But you know what it is? Excuse me. I think that with F1, I think it attracts the higher end consumer, and we know that the higher end consumer isn't that easily damaged or persuaded, right?
Really
so
there, yeah.
I think that's one thing with. But as for the NASCAR lads, those guys bright and early drinking. It's just before the track. Even you ever seen that one video? He's like, I don't even know what time it is. I've been drinking all morning, and we're going left, and we're going fast, baby. Yeah.
All right, Adair, what do you make of this Apple headline?
I think it's a good look for Apple, and I honestly think Apple kind of needs that positivity. We know they were one of the lagging Mag 7 names earlier this year. Well, that's completely gone. As you guys know, it's been actually now Apple apparently, as you're seeing as of a couple hours ago, $100 billion away from becoming the third ever company to reach a $4 trillion market cap. So great look here for AAPL. And I think also this I would call not just related to this iPhone 17 excitement, but we also have some really positive analyst notes too. As Sharif mentioned, people are expecting good things here from fiscal 2025 iPhone revenue in addition to fiscal 2026 iPhone revenue, but ahead of their earnings report coming through here on October 29th, I was seeing, I guess, or sorry, that's Google. Either way, APL earnings report likely within the next couple weeks. I do want to let you guys know that Loop Capital upgraded them with a $315 price target. Evercore ISI adding to its tactical outperform list. These analysts, again, $315 price target for Loop, $290 price target for Evercore ISI. So both of those targets imply a pretty significant move to the upside here. Apple already hit new all-time highs. I think with these, I guess, this optimism on the company combined with this positive iPhone 17 outlook, I think we could maybe go even higher.
Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, let's fire it up. In Africa, a new generation of leaders is rising. The woman boss empowers them. We provide the training and mentorship women and girls need to start businesses, create change, and build sustainable futures. We've already impacted over 10,000 lives. Your contribution creates the next opportunity. Scan the QR code, empower the next woman leader today.
All right, just putting in my stop here, Joey. Give me 1 sec. We're going to put it in at 61 to 61 for just that, and then we're going to have to give it a bit of room, Joey. So we're going to do that.
K-Town, baby.
Put some beak wetters over here. Just allow me a second, guys, to set up for my trade over here. Ooh, no, that's not the one we want there, Joey. That's not the one. So we're going to profit take, and then, sorry, guys, just let me set them up.
Yeah, do you want me to?
No, it's fine. We're just going to put these on there, and we're going to be good to go. So here, let's go on to the next story. Amazon Web Services, not big deal. Amazon's up 1%, but we're going to talk about it for obviously maybe for the fundamental traders, but on a technical level, it really didn't do much. So AWS, if you didn't know, the world's largest cloud infrastructure provider, experienced a massive outage early Monday, causing disruptions across dozens of major global platforms. The issue stemmed from what they're calling an operational incident, no more than that. That affected over 70 AWS services, including the core systems in the US East 1 region, one of AWS's most critical data hubs. Websites like Amazon.com, Disney+, Reddit, Ring, Robinhood, Snapchat, Venmo, Lyft, T-Mobile, United, the New York Times, Katina, man. I mean, like, where else can I go? Government systems got hit. Financial institutions got hit. Toronto Star, everyone wants to killing me, bro.
Did Toronto Star actually get hit?
No, he's like comparing it to the New York Times. That's what's funny. Even crypto exchanges like Coinbase were slapped. Roblox, Fortnite, Perplexity, who wasn't spared? All of them had some sort of service disruption, Joey. From my understanding, everything's kosher again. What's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's very, very interesting. It's obviously not good whatsoever. But aside from that, Sharif, Robinhood is breaking out now up to 140. I don't know why I keep saying 300. And then Amazon climbing right back towards the high of the day. And we didn't see that in the CrowdStrike scenario. Everything absolutely tanked. This is the opposite of what we're actually seeing right now. So very, very interesting. I'm sure they'll get it sorted out. But how many customers?
Robinhood's still down, Joey. Everybody's saying. people are saying right here.
Yeah. But Robinhood, the platform is down, but the stock is really, really bigly up today. It's up bigly on today's session. So not too bad of a look. Again, doesn't make too much sense, but I'm sure they're going to get it sorted out. And is Amazon going to have some payouts? Are they going to have some potential lawsuits? I think so at the end of the day, considering if it stays down longer, that payout is going to be significantly larger because CrowdStrike had to pay out. Who was it? With one of the airlines?
Oh, bro, it was Delta, and there were others
airlines.
too.
Yeah, a lot of
they sued them.
Exactly. So I think I don't see why this would differ in this scenario. Robinhood, who already had a little bit of a sketchy track record with the GameStop scenario and everything along those lines.
Yeah, you
so
don't
that's going to get a lot of people frustrated and mad. Hopefully, you can get out on your cell phone. If not, man, oh man, I really don't. I don't even know what I would do if I was in that scenario.
Hold on, so the app is working, but the website is not.
That's what someone told me. The web browser isn't working, but they got it. They got out on the app. They were able to get out on the app, not on.
Well, at least there's something there.
Yeah.
All right, Adara, Amazon. I know your affinity for really looking at price action. It didn't do much today. What's your take?
Yeah, I was going to say here, I want to talk a little bit more because I really agree with what Joe said, the way that these stocks are not reacting the same way that we had with the CrowdStrike outage. And I think potentially with that, I mean, obviously, as you guys just mentioned, the scope of this Amazon outage, or the AWS outage story, was much more significant, a lot more companies affected. But I think the extent to which Delta especially was, Microsoft as well, but Delta especially was impacted there by the CrowdStrike outage, really, I think, outpaces any of these smaller impacts for these companies that were hit by AWS. And that is not at all to, I guess, delegitimize the real impacts for these companies. But I think because AWS was very obviously the issue, they were able to come out, a lot of companies, including Perplexity and Robinhood, and say, hey, this wasn't our fault, this isn't our issue, we're waiting for responses to AWS. Now, some people I've seen on the internet, I've seen people basically split here. Some have argued AWS did not respond appropriately to this, saying they're going to be investigating the issue like hours after it first happened. But then other people are saying, hey, sure, this outage is pretty scary, but it does show, I guess, the breadth of Amazon's cloud power and how many people are using it. So I think that might be significant. Either way, I think Amazon is probably fine long term. I mean, the stock didn't care. But let's put it this way. CrowdStrike, when they had a similar situation, which again, really bad for Delta in particular, CrowdStrike's way of dealing with it was offering DoorDash coupons, or Uber Eats coupons, some kind of food coupon to its some of its clients. The coupons didn't even work because they used the same code. So I think as long as Amazon doesn't do that, they probably get out of this pretty unscathed.
All right, thank you. We're taking out some levels here, guys, on BYND, so I'm just posting. We're taking out levels on RANI as well, so I'm posting there as well. Let's see what we get on these bad boys. Good move up here on BYD and RAN and RANI, but we're no means at day high yet. Oh, we are. Oh, no, we're not. Excuse me. Yes, we are. What am I saying, man? Get it together, Sharif. RANI, we just got into day high 280. Were we long? We're long 66s. So let's see if we can get some more moves. Let me just post over here, guys, at 85s. And I'm also, no, you goof. Let's go ahead and post at 82 and 88. We'll see what we can get there. Yeah, put 388, which is a little ambitious there, Joey. So that's why I changed that. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin finding support as the macro pressures ease. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about Bitcoin moving up nicely, 2% in 24 hours. Initially, the resistance was 109.405, but we know it's at least gotten to 111 from what I've seen, signaling what analysts are calling potential stabilization after a steep correction earlier this month. Analysts say the move suggests a local bottom may be forming, with BTC potentially preparing for a short-term bullish reversal. We'll have to see if that happens, or that's just obviously speculation until it does. The recovery, though, follows some dovish comments from Fed Chair Powell last week as he indicated that more rate cuts were to come. As well, he hinted that quantitative tightening, something you've been talking about for a hot minute, QT, may soon end. So we'll have to see when that does, if it does. The potential end, I should say, of liquidity withdrawal, which is what QT is viewed, of course, as a tailwind for these risk assets, which Bitcoin, whether you like it or not, still is. Here we go, guys, on what's it called? BYND. Joseph Options, this is taking out levels right now. Let's go ahead and post at 28. 27 showing up. We're posting at 29. We're posting at 31 for a break of 30. Shout out to my man D freaking Westermeyer bringing this one to my attention. And I know there's a lot of other people looking at BYND in the chat as well, but we'll get to that in a sec. So let's continue on with the story. Peter Chung of Presto Research says, quote, this is probably the local bottom, but an escalation in the trade war could cause another tumble. We know the APEC conference where President Trump is slated, at least for the moment, to meet and speak with President Xi could change all this if it doesn't go well. And that's what I was saying as well. The upcoming U.S. inflation report, Joey, one of the only government data points we're going to get comes later this week. This also could be moving for Bitcoin.
Absolutely, big time move. I like that you brought that up there. We'll hit up the old JP. We reloaded a little bit more here. So we got more than this size. We get this pullback. Now let's see if we can go on continue this trajectory. We snapped this support level, then we're at a dodge on that one there. So again, still relatively small on the size, just holding on to some of these gains that we got. So yeah, I mean, go Amazon, go.
Get it, Joey.
Katina, man. Oh yeah. Yes, my days. There it is, right at the high of the day. Outage who? I know I obviously don't want to make light of it, though, because people's accounts are obviously being played. But yeah, Amazon, I'm glad to have grabbed a little bit this morning. But as for what's going on with Bitcoin, listen, my brother, he's 10 years younger than me. He's 23 years old, and the kid doesn't own any. So I had to be like, what are you doing? Yeah, smack him around a little bit and say like, hey man, listen, this is the future. This is what your generation is doing. It's good because, dude, he has a wicked job. He's security at TTC.
Thanks,
so patrolling the subs, doing
that's a great job,
that's
right? Like a foot in the door with the police service.
Exactly. And I told you, he's a big dude, handsome fellow as well too. So he's got a lot going from. And I said, hey, listen, stay at home for the next 7-8 years and just save money and just invest. And sure enough, you're going to be leagues ahead of some of your peers. But no, as for the Bitcoin, guys, we love this. We're still not even halfway through the current halving cycle. I think once we get a little bit more easing, I was expecting a substantially bigger move, maybe into 135 with Bitcoin on that previous rate cut. We didn't see that. We seen a little pop, but then it started to come back in, and you've seen last week that we traded around some $100,000 lows. Now, is this going to be kind of, and again, I'm comparing two different things. Dan Ives was expecting the super cycle on the 16. We didn't get it. Is the 17 going to be it? Maybe, possibly. So what I'm getting at here essentially is, if we get another rate cut, is that going to add enough confidence into the space where we get that big move up into the 150 that I think everyone's truly looking for? Maybe, possibly. Time will tell, but that's most definitely what I'm leaning towards on Bitcoin and the crypto space.
All right, Adara, what's your take on this latest reclaiming of the $110,000 level?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin, as I mentioned during our crypto segment today, with the last couple new all-time highs, this is just IBIT I have here on the chart, we've seen with Bitcoin, we'll have this, I guess, push to new all-time highs, then we'll have a sharp drop, we'll have a bottoming tail candle in the daily chart, then we'll come up and make a slightly lower high. But I mean, that's kind of par for the course now. We're kind of now aware, at least as of late, that Bitcoin will make a new all-time high and then pull back a little bit. I don't think it's anything to worry about. We did get out of at least the more recent uptrend of the daily chart. But as you mentioned, that 110,000 level reclaimed, and I think maybe more key as of late, the 108,000 level. That's certainly something to watch out for. And even when we made these recent lows, we didn't get below that 100,000 level. The lowest, I believe, was in about 103,500. So not a bad look there necessarily. Bitcoin is allowed to pull back. Pullbacks are healthy. I think, of course, there are a lot of macroeconomic catalysts here. We have the government shutdown, which is currently still happening. But either way, we are set to, reportedly, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we're going to be getting those CPI numbers on October 24th, Friday. So that should certainly be interesting. And maybe the more interesting number on Friday, of course, the University of Michigan consumer sentiment. So let's see, with the shutdown, with that rate cut coming up, how are consumers feeling? I think that could maybe be key, at least short term.
There goes BYND into another high of day 130, guys. Here we go, looking for that 130 break. Good size posted at the 130 side of the equation over here, 129 on bid, 130 on the ask. Let's see if we can get above that level, keeping an eye on that. Separately, RANI retracing over here, down a little bit, so anything below 69 ends the trade for me. Topping tail candle into 82 is going to stop me out for the last remaining amount. I'm in at 66 as if it loses 70. So pack in the patience there, and there we go. We're stopped out in the remaining amount there on RANI. Let's go on to the next story, though, guys. Nvidia CEO, not a big deal here, but just to let you know that he is headed to the APAC Summit, the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC. He's going to be headed there. It's going to take place in South Korea, where President Trump is going. President Xi as well is going to be there, as we mentioned earlier. The dates for there are October 28th to the 31st. NVIDIA confirmed that CEO Jensen Huang will meet global leaders as well as top Korean executive to strengthen ties on a multitude of issues: AI, robotics, digital twins, autonomous vehicle technology, the gauntlet, guys. They're going to be talking about everything. The summit, of course, is going to coincide with the annual APEC leaders meeting, where the heads of 21 different nations, including, as I mentioned, President Xi and President Trump, will gather to discuss trade and innovation. And we know that NVIDIA has big partnerships with a lot of South Korean companies, the Samsungs, the SK Hynix. We know that SK Hynix very much supplies a lot of NVIDIA's high bandwidth memory, which they include, of course, in the servers, the GB300, the latest one that's going to be slated for next year, GB200, the latest of right now. Guys, there goes BYND into 133 high. We went the beak there at 132, Joey. This one's really going. It's up 100% now. BYND, we're at 16s, 33 area high. We have no more profit takers. That's no good. So we have to put those, and then we're going to put them in the mid to high 30s. Let's watch out, though. Topping tail candle manifesting right now on BYND. Anything below the 10 EMA ends the trade for me. That's a $1.23. I need it to hold trend. Otherwise, I get out. So BYND up 100%, looking for a little bit more. So I want you to comment, obviously, on NVIDIA, but I want to shout you out for calling the $100,000 level on Bitcoin, because it's exactly what it did. It was a flash crash into that level. But I also want to tap myself on the shoulder a little bit again, because it right back into 110
and you grabbed a little, didn't you?
I grabbed a little. I grabbed a little at 59s on IBIT, but, you know, definitely not a huge position or anything. But we're going to wet the beak every now and again, Joey. Add a little bit on the dips.
Absolutely. Hey, man, again, it's just like at all costs, I'm just rotating absolutely everything that I can into it. It sounds crazy, if you ask me, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and to each their own. Again, fortune favors the bold, as we like to say around here. Man, everybody can agree with that. But as for NVDA, Shreep, sir, I was dialed in to my algo here, just like running through some things.
He's going to APEC. He's going to Korea.
Yeah, going to Korea. I mean, his expansion is going to continue to grow. You know, a lot of the analysts, yes, John, Courtney, the majority of us here do. But anyways, a lot of analysts are going to say, what I do know is that a lot of this AI trade does not happen without Jensen and company. And if it's going to continue to grow, he's going to be at the forefront of this. He is essentially the build out and everything that is needed to do so. I like NVDA. We can pull up the options chain and look at it. I mean, now so the approval with the chips going over to the Gulf countries, absolutely fantastic. We've seen a pop in the stock on that one. And then hopefully he's going to start selling some of these things to China, and we can get those on the books as well too. Options chain. I know that a lot of the corporations in China did get the approval for the H20, Sharif. But again, the Chinese government saying
they don't want that.
They don't want that.
And can I mention one other thing? Remember that B30A? That was a new China-specific chip that was supposed to be based on the Blackwell architecture that Donald kind of gave the nod to. Weren't we supposed to get a sample of that sent to Chinese companies by the end of September? I didn't hear anything about that. I can neither confirm nor deny, but I assume it would have been a story that we would have reported on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another China-specific chip. But you can see completely why that wouldn't even be sent, Joey, based upon the headwinds they got right now.
So, I mean, saying it won't be sent, maybe currently it's just not sent yet.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I don't want to discount it.
Most definitely it's in the works, right? Like, so if he can send it, he's going to send it.
I'm going to send it.
He's going to say it's super duper. That's what Mr. Donald Trump used to say. Now, as for, let's get to the NVDA chain, guys. And we had a concentration. Why isn't it pulling up? We had a concentration at the 195-200s. Let's see if that's starting to cool off a little bit. So 53,600 right there, and then 88,700 at 195. So that size is still there, but it's not anything what we've experienced before when you have hundreds of thousands. Watch out for NVDA. The market does need to cool off at times, but I think in the long run, those are going to be rolled over, and you're going to see them consistently being lifted in the strike prices. And I think that NVDA can get to 200 by the end of the year.
Well, that'd be crazy. All right, guys, double top possibly here. On BYND at 33, still at 31, but there's certainly a seller at 33, so just be on the lookout at the third of a dollar. Not saying it's going to reject here, but just something to keep on watch for. All right, Adair, there was very little in the way of details about what Jensen is going to do there. We've got to use our imagination. What's your take on this story?
I mean, I think it's a good look once again here. When Trump goes to visit a country, Jensen Huang is following him, and I'm not saying that these are necessarily correlated. Of course, Jensen has his own business to do, specifically with regards to the UAE trip. But I think it's a good look that he's kind of, continuing to follow in lockstep there. Now, with regards to the China meeting aspect of things that we're also going to be having during APEC, we know that Trump, as of right now, and as of, I would say, the last couple days or so, he's made it very clear that he still intends to meet with President Xi in South Korea, so that's something of note. I want to mention another story here with regards to Nvidia. This one, it came out on Friday. I believe I mentioned it here during the recap or just before the recap, but then it wasn't really, I mean, I didn't see too much about it this morning, but I do think it's worth noting regardless here. Nvidia and TSM celebrating their first Nvidia Blackwell wafer produced in the U.S. So any U.S. production is going to be a good look here, I believe, for NVDA and especially TSM. I just wanted to add that on too. But yeah, I mean, kind of hard to comment. As you said, we don't have a lot of details. Let's see what ends up conspiring or taking place there when we get to APEC.
All right, let's ask chat what's going on over here, Joey. Let's find out. Did NVIDIA send a sample of the B30A chip to China for testing? Let's just find out if there's anything to this story. Guys, I've seen. Chat, stop embarrassing me, bro. Quicken up a little bit over here. No, there's no confirmed publicly available evidence that they've already sent production samples of the chip documented as B30A to Chinese customers. What we know, they're developing a China-specific chip we know called B30A on the Blackwell architecture, Joey. What we don't have is there's no publicly confirmed statements from NVIDIA or any Chinese customers publicly acknowledging the receipt of the B30A. Okay, just good to know. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, Joe. Let's cut the crap, okay? Yeah. They don't want the chips over there. They want to be able to catch up. They don't want to be held hostage by American technology. Yeah. Whether or not they're able to catch up and catch up soon, we'll see.
I think they can.
I'm not going to. You're not going to find me discounting the Chinese, bro.
There's zero
but anyway, guys, BYND still on the rampage to the high side, 136 high. We just wet the beak there at 135. We're posting at 136.7s now. for the high of the day break. We also have some at 39s. BYND, it's up 110%. It's still going. Here comes 37s. Momentarily, it looks like on the level 2. Whether or not we cross it, an entirely different story. There it is, Joey. As we get into another high of day on Beyond Meat, you're not going to catch me eating any of their food, but we'll take this monster long. There's another high of day, Joey. 138 high. Let's go ahead and post at 40s now. We're going to wait for more profits if it does come in on that level. Pumped. Number 2 fear. Why is it Streamlabs blocking your comment for saying fake meat? Pretty fake. So yeah, there's that story. Let's talk about Waymo possibly facing, well, they are. They're going to face a federal probe over a school bus safety violation. Uh-oh. It's not just FSD here that's getting into some trouble. So the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has launched a preliminary probe into about 2,000 Waymo self-driving vehicles, citing potential violations of traffic safety laws near stop school buses. Again, one of those real-world incidents that autonomous driving vehicles are going to have to learn to get accustomed to. The probe stems from a media report describing an incident where a Waymo robotaxi failed to remain stationary when a school bus had its red lights flashing and stop arm extended. This marks the latest federal review, of course, of self-driving systems amid growing scrutiny over autonomous vehicles. So what happened? What's the incident? So a Waymo vehicle initially stopped, then maneuvered around the bus's front, passing the extended stop arm as children were disembarking. Yeah, that's not going to work out. The vehicle was using Waymo's 5th generation automated driving system and was operating without a human safety driver at the time, which most of them do. They don't have safety drivers for most of them. Waymo said the vehicle approached from an angle where the flashing lights and the stop sign weren't visible. Again, a real world concern that they're going to have to figure out. It said it maintained a safe distance from students while driving slowly past. Yeah, that's not what they want, bro. They want a full stop behind the bus. The company's response and the software fixes that followed. A Waymo spokesperson said the company has already implemented improvements related to stopping for school buses and plans further updates. They emphasized driving safely around children has always been one of the highest priorities, and the company said the software now includes enhanced detection and compliance logic. Joey, let's just cut them some slack here.
Yeah.
The fact that they responded to it, but this puts into perspective the real concern about FSD, right? Or these autonomous driving systems, that these situations that a human would be able to completely understand in 1 second. Most humans, I've seen some humans maneuver around school buses before.
I just seen a dude blow.
That's why I said some. Yeah, that's why I said some. But quite frankly, Joey, this is the kind of thing that they're going to have to figure out. This safety thing with children is not going to be tolerated.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No, it's zero tolerance. I mean, but we have to also take into consideration how early these stages are. We are in this. Obviously, we don't even have it in every single major city. I think they'll get the bug sorted out. We talked about the likes of LiDAR and comparing it to Tesla's camera comparison. I don't know, maybe Tesla would pick that up and then Waymo having a little bit of trouble. But the software upgrade, I think, in Waymo is going to be significantly easier. And we're not even close to any form of profitability just yet. Once they have the ability to get into mass production, I think things are going to drastically change. They'll be able to sort these bugs out. Until then, it's beta mode, in my opinion, until it's accessible to everybody, no matter where you are. But I'm not overly worried about this, Sharif. There's going to be bumps along the way, for sure, in this stuff.
I want to read out Danker's comment.
Absolutely.
Great comment there. I'm a funeral director, and we have had issues with Waymo cutting into funeral processions and hitting escorts. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother, obviously to the family who probably had to deal with that as well. But again, another real world incident. A human will realize it's a funeral procession and you'll kind of give space. Whereas, the AI has to know that. It has to understand that. And again, AI could be so much smarter in advanced thinking, but when it comes to human tasks, regular every day, we've seen them fail. ChatGPT being a very clear example of that. I know they're not the same thing, but I just want to draw some parallels.
That's the thing. It's funny that it's like I'm working on the exact same same thing. I ran into those issues with my algo that I was working on. It's like you have that discretionary and that human aspect that you can't code.
No,
right?
It's a lot harder.
It's definitely more difficult to code, right? But yeah, I think they will get it sorted out. We obviously don't want any issues with that. Even though here in the province of Ontario, we're looking to ban the speed cameras. I think ban them, but just keep them in the school zones.
But you know what they're doing with them?
No,
so your boy Big Dougie wants to refit them for crime, and he wants to take that military thing. You know, in the military, where when someone shoots in your direction, you have to be able to ascertain where the bullet's coming from very quickly, right? So that you can focus your attention there. So he wants to actually put these detectors on the cameras that detect shots fired as well as the direction of the shots. It feels like a war zone. These are our communities, bro. These are our houses.
But,
so I don't really like that. I like, of course, that he's taking a flight.
But I don't want to be like monitored, like a
there's that whole thing, of course.
The privacy kind of aspect of things. So.
All right, Adara, what do you make of this latest Waymo debacle? Just another sort of evolution in the software?
Yeah, it's scary, and I honestly think, and I am fully prepared for this to be a hot take and for people to go at me in the chat, but I welcome discussion, I welcome debate. If we're having these like really big safety issues, I mean, we know we had them with FSD, but especially like with the Waymo pausing and then deciding, wait, I'll just drive around the school bus arm while kids are disembarking off the bus. I think that's a real concern, obviously. And so I think maybe what we do is we take a step back, we take a moment to just make sure all of these vehicles are really trained in, you know, I guess road etiquette. Like obviously, you know, laws, regulations, those are important too, but just road etiquette as well, because I mean, obviously, that is still, I believe, illegal. I don't drive, so please correct me if I'm wrong, to just, you know, go around a school bus. But I think it also, at the very least, is super unethical. So yeah, I think it's pretty scary that we have these vehicles out there that maybe aren't, I guess, trained to the best of their ability. I don't know. I find this to be a little bit concerning, especially the fact that I know, Sharif, you mentioned as well your experience with the FSD in the Tesla about a year back, where it wasn't necessarily like, you know, I believe it was yielding properly. So this is a concern. And again, as you guys are mentioning, real world examples happening. I think that the school bus is certainly a large concern given children and the safety of children. I think especially how a lot of drivers, to my understanding and knowledge, really prioritize the safety in school zones and with buses. So yeah, I think this is pretty dicey, and I wonder if maybe it's just time to take a couple months, train these AIs and these algorithms and these systems properly before letting them back on the road, because big yikes.
For that, yes, I have to agree. Hopefully they get everything figured out, because that's obviously a very big concern for us, the safety of children. Let's talk about Boeing winning, finally, FAA approval to boost their 737 MAX output. Not by as many as you think. It's just 4 per month, but that could be a good thing for them as they look to get out of debt. Let's talk about it. So as I mentioned, the FAA is allowing Boeing to raise the amount of 737 MAX they produce per month from 38 to 42. The prior cap was put in 2024 by the previous administration after the Alaska Airlines MAX 9 mid-air emergency, which exposed missing bolts in a door plug, and obviously renewed scrutiny over Boeing. And there goes BYND into another area high into 39s. Let's wet the beak here as well, and we're also going to wait at 40s. Good strength right now from BYND, continues to print higher highs and higher lows. Go ahead, Joey.
All right, cool. New traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now.
Thank you, Joey.
Yes, sir.
So the FAA said inspectors conducted extensive reviews, of Boeing's production lines, and they concluded the increase could be safely done under enhanced oversight. I don't know what the enhanced oversight entails. You can do a bit more digging into that. So let's talk about the possible financial rebound, because Boeing has been, you know what, defecating the bed here for a long time. Increasing deliveries, though, could be crucial for them, especially for their financial recovery, as the company actually only receives the majority of the money for the airplane once it delivers. So they don't have like 50% upfront payment by a buyer. That's not happening. Again, the most of the money comes when the airplane is delivered. So they remain heavily indebted. They're carrying $53 billion on their balance sheet in debt. Just compare that to the $12 billion they had back in 2018. Orders of magnitude higher. Analysts, though, expect Boeing to remain unprofitable through the rest of the year. We're talking about 25, but they do see 2026 as the first profitable year, potentially, of course, since 2018, if the production continues. Production ramps up smoothly, I should say, Joey. So they've Boeing also has some supply chains that remain fragile. They built up about $11 billion in raw material inventories as a buffer back from $6.4 billion in 2018 because of the shortages right now in some of these critical minerals, critical supplies. So not a bad look. What do you make of this whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I was reading a story a while ago, and I'm talking a couple of years back, where everything with Boeing was so bad that they're like, hey, you guys need to hire the FAA into your own division so you can start spinning out planes a little bit faster. But in all seriousness, we know they have a backlog, and they essentially run a monopoly in the commercial airspace. The margins must be absolutely horrible, and it's weird for me to see a company like that, because we're not going to say that NVDA holds a monopoly on the market, but look how fantastic that is, and especially on a physical product, they have good margins, Sharif, as you always mention. And I'm curious as to why Boeing can't get it together. They're starting to crack some deals with the FAA. I think that's really, really good for them. They can spit out more planes, and they can meet some of that demand in that backlog. I think it's only a matter of time until Boeing really starts to pick up some steam. But once they get all of that under control, they spit out some more product, they get those delivery numbers, and they beat on deliveries, hopefully, if they somehow imagine to. I think this stock has a potential of some massive room to grow. But currently, right now, not until 2026 is when they're going to become profitable, Sharif. You're going to have to be patient and sit down and wait on that. I want to bring up one thing here. Sharif, you were mentioning gunfire and all of this stuff, and people in the States are like, hey, do they even have guns in Canada?
What?
You got to understand.
We got plenty of guns, man.
Again, this is per capita, per 100 people.
It's not the United States.
It's not the United States.
We have plenty of guns.
But trust me, we're up there on the list. And where do all the illegal ones come from? You guys, because they bring it over.
You want to give them the stat?
Yeah,
let's give them the stat. So, gun crimes in Toronto it's been increasing a lot, and when they look at the data, over almost 90-some-odd% of the guns used in crime are smuggled from the United States. They're not legal gun owners.
They're not the legal gun owners.
Yeah.
No.
So that's another some food for thought there. But we digress. Yeah. Joey, are you done?
Yeah, I'm good with Boeing. I think, listen, we're holding some support levels right here. Watch out for a liquidity grab south of that, and then maybe you can continue its climb. As for those April lows, it had a nice bounce, Sharif, 87%.
Understood. All right, Adara, what do you make of Boeing and Kelly Ortberg and Company?
Yeah, I think it's another win for Kelly Ortberg. And guys, can you just specify how important it is that Kelly Ortberg do a good job? Because right now, he's actually in a position where he could maybe be Boeing's first CEO since 1996 to not either resign in disgrace or later be called the worst CEO in the history of America. So Kelly Ortberg has a chance here. The other CEOs, for the record, were just interim. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what he does, but I think so far he's done an excellent job of turnaround. As Joe mentioned, and something I want to add to as well and emphasize because I think it's really important, the FAA has been giving Boeing a little bit more breathing room. It's allowing it to grow up a bit. It's like, hey, Boeing, now you can certify some of your own planes. Now we have, I think the biggest thing here was the production cap, especially because, and I didn't realize this, Boeing receives the bulk of its payments here upon delivery. I think that's a really good look if we can get more of these planes produced, we can get more delivered, and Boeing can make some more moolah. But yeah, either way, I think it's a good look for Kelly Ortberg. As of when I posted this infographic, which was late July 2025, I will update it ahead of the latest earnings. But either way, 41% increase here in the stock at that time since Kelly began his tenure. So I think it's a good look. And I think, hey, as long as they keep the dawn out of the plane factory, then maybe we have a good chance for Boeing to fly higher again.
All right, thank you. Let's go on to Cleveland Cliffs, surging after or on rare earths pivot and, of course, a strong quarter. Where's CLF at right now? I know it was up bigly in the pre. Well, it's still up almost 18%, 17.79, but it is about $1 off the highs, 1670 high, trading at 15.69 right now. So $1.01 off the high. But let's talk about this. So CLF reported adjusted Q3 EBITDA at around about 143 million, but that is up from 122 a year ago. So good look there. EPS still negative, coming in at 45 pennies and missing the consensus estimate of 4.7 billion in revenue. What's going on over there, Katima? Is it still raining?
No, you don't look wet.
Is it still raining? Yes or no,
My
bro?
guy's just drippy. All right, he's working on the dramatic pauses.
Yeah, you got your headphone in. I got my headphones.
Hold on. Let's do this here right now. Yeah. Come on, we're gonna do that right now. I know Sharif's
We're gonna do a live
thing. Cleveland Cliffs.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna do a live right now. Let's find out over here. Yeah, we can hold off on Cleveland Cliffs right now.
Let's see what we got, brother.
Joseph, you're entitled to 50% of that if you win.
Parliament Hill, it's a brown though. We don't got much on that one, man. We don't really like this one.
Oh, is this Monopoly again? I love this.
Monopoly.
There's always one you can't get out of the three, right?
The park.
All right, Katina, man, you got Lake Louise.
Ooh. Is that blue? What color is that? It's light blue, though. Light blue.
What do you got
I knew
there?
that was light blue, man.
How'd you know?
Because I used to be a Parliament Hill. I got Parliament Hill brown. It's not worth too much.
So Parliament Hill obviously is Canada. So this is Canadian.
Yeah. You put them in the app.
I like it.
All right, rock and roll.
Oh, this is cool, man. I used to love playing this when I was a kid. But let's talk about the Cleveland Cliffs. Let's go on. 4.7 billion in revenue. That missed the 4.9 expected by analysts. The company did lower its 2025 capex about 525 million from 600 and trimmed the guidance down to 550. Shares jumped though. At least, 7.8% in the pre-market, as I mentioned, up more now, outperforming the S&P, at least in the morning, on solid margins and a new strategic direction. We kind of prefaced that by talking about rare earths. So we'll talk about that rare earths. So the biggest surprise came as Cleveland Cliffs announced it is exploring rare earths production from its iron ore deposits as a strategic shift with potentially huge implications. Gonsalves, who's this Gonsalves guy? He's the CEO? Yeah. He said assets in Michigan and Minnesota show signs of rare earth mineralization, adding Cliffs aims to help the U.S. reduce dependency on China. The move comes amid rising geopolitical tensions, of course, especially around rare earths between the two superpowers. But Joey, let's get even more real here. It's one thing to have the rare earths, in your backyard, in your jurisdiction. It's an entirely different thing to take those rare earths and make them usable through the refining aspect. And your boys in China, they have over 90% of the world's refining capacity. So it's not just enough to get them out, Joey. We know the Ring of Fire's got plenty. You know that for a fact. Brazil got plenty. I think second most in the world after China, if I'm not wrong. I think China's number one, Brazil number two. And then, we've got our fair share as well. I think the States does have more than us for certain ones. But none of us have the refining capacity that we need that China already has. Does this make a difference? At least in the short to intermediate.
I think so, right? I think it has to at the end of the day. They don't want to be overly reliant on China. That's been the narrative. They obviously want to strike a deal, but that dependence is not good. And you can see you run into issues like this here, which I think is very, very interesting. But speaking of refineries, you know how we are, Sharif. We don't, for some reason, I don't know why Canada doesn't, aside from what we're talking about the rare earths, it's like, why have we not built an oil refinery?
I think we have one in the east. There's one. I think it's in the east. Yeah, like in the Maritime. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check on that.
Yeah, we'll double check on that.
It would be great if we could refine our own oil and drop the prices.
And not like, you know what I mean?
Fantastic.
Extract it, sell it to the States, and then buy it back, because that makes a lot of logic. But at the end of the day, not too bad, guys. The whole space has been running as of late. This is Cleveland Cliffs here, Sharif brought to us. This is a big time move up. Watch out for the implied volatility on this. And then same with the likes of LAC as well, too, Lithium America Corp. We're starting to see some big time moves in this space. Why? Because when there's a crisis at hand, there's ways that the stock market can take advantage of it. I think that the Americans are obviously onto the right path, but just starting their own for now.
All right, Adair's not there, so let's go on to the next story. Weight Watchers partnering with Amazon to sell these GLP-1 drugs for delivery. So let's get right down to it. Where is WW up on the day? Let's find out. They're up 9 1/3%. Not doing the most volume. I would have anticipated they would have been a lot more active. They're not, but they're still up nicely here, 9.29%. So Weight Watchers announced a partnership with Amazon Pharmacy to deliver GLP-1 obesity medications, including injectables like everybody knows, Wegovy, Zepbound. It's going to be directly to the customer's home. The integration allows customers to check real-time drug availability, which is an issue because sometimes they're on backlog, as well as order refrigerated prescriptions for fast, temperature-controlled delivery, important for these GLP-1s. WW emerged from bankruptcy back in July. It eliminated a lot of debt, and it pivoted towards a digital telehealth rather than the food side of things. And they really are focusing on the GLP side of the telehealth. Competitors, kind of, I'm talking about hims and hers, they went a different route. They didn't deal directly with the manufacturers like Lilly and Novo Nordisk. They went, with the compounding pharmacies that make generic versions of these GLP-1s, which cause problems, of course, for hims and hers. Weight Watchers didn't do that. They went directly to Novo. They went directly to CenterWell Pharmacy for distribution. So they're getting the original stuff and foregoing that whole compounding thing. Amazon, the pharmacy aspect to Amazon here is what we're talking about. They continue to expand their pharmacy footprint. They put in $4 billion they're going to put $4 billion through 26 to triple their delivery capacity and add same day as well as next day service to 4,000 additional towns for delivery of drugs. Prime members, Joey, they're going to get 1 or 2 day shipping on medications, and they recently launched prescription kiosks at One Medical clinics, which could be nice as well. Another option if you don't want to wait for delivery. You mosey on over to the kiosk.
Yeah, I was talking about this a while ago when I told you that Amazon was hopping into the medical field. Now they're obviously looking into some deliveries for the GLPs, which is absolutely fantastic. Why? Because we're long Amazon as well, too. The outage, a little bit surprising that we're continuing to climb on today's session, but I think it's a step in the right direction. This drug has absolutely taken the market by storm, and we've seen some of these traditional, I guess, snack companies, if you want to call it, like Coca-Cola and PepsiCo, have to just completely change their systems and their products to attract the individual looking for those healthier snacks. Amazon's doing the right thing, partnering up, getting these kiosks out, and then now starting the deliveries. I think it's a really good move, in my opinion, considering that seems to be the motion and the move of the consumer these days is healthy and slim via these GLP.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about it as well. There could be further uses for these GLP-1 drugs, man. And so we're talking about weight for now, but that is, underline that now, for now. We'll see what else they get to. All right, Adara.
Yeah, sorry, what was I going to...
Go ahead.
I forgot. It slipped my mind. So, yeah, let's go to Adara.
All right, Adara. This interesting take right now between Weight Watchers out of bankruptcy in July, teaming up with Amazon for GLP-1 delivery.
Yeah, I think it's a good look because I think both companies and users of both companies benefit, right? If you're from Weight Watchers, you get this partnership with, again, a major company here, Amazon, specifically their pharmacy. And then I didn't realize, too, if you are a user here with Prime, that you also get perks. So I think it's a win-win, truthfully, for both companies and the users of both companies. Not much else to say, but I think a good look.
BYND into another high of the day. There we go, 141. We went the beak at 140. We're now posting at 43, 46. BYN freaking D, it is up 118%. Obviously, this is a short squeeze, guys. Keep that in mind, before holding overnight or making any other decisions about punching into this for less than just an intraday trade. I'm not trying to disparage anybody who's been holding this, but just look at the chart, where it's coming from, what it's been doing lately, and the short interest, most notably, guys. 142 high a day. It's eating up all the sell orders right there. Short sellers, be made aware, guys.
Absolutely.
Let's go on to the next story here. Joey, we've got 5 minutes left. Tesla will report earnings Wednesday after the bell. Make sure to catch that with us on the Market Recap show. It's going to be bigly, as somebody says. It's been rallying lately, too. Decent move here for Tesla. I got to digress. There goes BYND again, Joey.
Dang.
Into 145 high. Here we go. We're posting at 146. Let's go ahead and wait as well at 49s. Good move here.
Way to grab the whole trend there, man.
Yeah, man. It's been rocketing up. Your boy D. Westermeyer is responsible for this trade. Shout out to D.
Shout out.
Let's go back. Sorry to digress. So the rally follows optimism from our very good friend, I don't know him, but I like him, Danny Ives at Wedbush, who said after a brutal few quarters, we're finally seeing stable demand trends for Tesla. Let's talk about those trend demands. So Tesla delivered just shy of 500,000 vehicles in Q3 of this year, which is a 7% year-over-year increase. They delivered specifically 497,099 vehicles, but we know some of those Q3 sales were pulled forwards due to the September expiration of the federal $7,500 EV tax credit. So will we see that same demand continuation? Give you the other side of the coin, which is that for the first half of 2025, Tesla sold 721,000 vehicles. That's down 13% year over year. So you see the good locally here with the trend moving up, but it could be because of the pull forward September demand. We'll have to wait and see. Tesla's earnings call is expected to shift the focus away from car sales more towards AI-driven growth initiatives like your robotaxi rollout, the Cybercab production timeline for 26, as well as Optimus, which is their humanoid robot entering limited testing. Ives emphasized that Tesla's entering a new phase. It starts with autonomous driving, then robotics, Danny Ives said. Joey, Tesla stock's up 99% in the past 12 months, and Ives maintaining a buy rating with a $600 price target on the Cybertruck.
Not Danny Ives remaining bullish on thing there. But no, as for the crypto space, guys, we'll get into Tesla in 1 second. So you can see on that reload, that didn't work out. It stopped me out at the lows here, and then now it's starting to climb. But that's okay. We take a little bit of a win there, stop out there. Not too bad. So we had, we traded 3 names today. IBIT was by far the most profitable one, and holding on to all of those gains. Tesla and Ether, slightly red on them, even though we got some nice moves. I put in a little bit heavy and just stuck to the stop. But anyways, yeah, as for what's going on with Tesla, Sharif, yes, I think it was, for a while, a lot of what I was thinking is, hey, has the reign of Tesla's EV supremacy come to an end? Why was I thinking this? Well, because we've seen what was happening in the likes of Europe, and even in North America, sales were starting to absolutely plummet. There was brand damage along the way. But I think with obviously the EV tax credit now ending, you've seen a little bit of bump in sales and deliveries there. But I think with the new and cheaper model, I'm not going to say it's going to change everything, but I think it's a needle mover. And we're also going to be looking for that. We're not going to get that Model 2, but it's good to see that we have that cheaper model. But forward looking in this name, it's going to be the energy storage, which is starting to grow substantially. We have robotics is coming in the pipeline as well, too. And then most importantly, robotaxi. Once he gets that cooling up, I think that we're going to see some price targets, not in the Cathie Wood's realm, but substantially higher than what we're looking at right now.
Fantastic, right? Yeah. She's so ambitious, but I happen to agree with her. Maybe in the long term, obviously not.
Yeah, I'm not saying by. I think again, once the robotaxi, once he has the ability, once the green light is on the robotaxi, that's when you're going to see an additional growth cycle, in my opinion.
100%.
Because we mentioned
it's margin expanding. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
And I forget who said it. Someone in the chat. I don't know if it was Ozan or somebody said like. Someone mentioned, and they're like, yeah, I just use my FSD. I don't drive anywhere now. I just literally click it and let it do its things. Yeah.
And the Katina man was praising autopilot the other day.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting at. At the end of the day, humans are lazy. If you have the opportunity to not hit anything and just sit in your vehicle and do what you want and scroll on your phone and do this and do that, humans are going to take advantage of it.
Oh, all right, guys. BYND is absolutely rocketing. Here we go. 135%. We took out the $0.50. I was anticipating more resistance at the $0.50. It is not resisting here, at least not yet. 153 high. We're showing 52s. There's 53s again. There's a prohibitively large seller, excuse me, at 53. We've been rejecting that level, but I've seen this kind of stop at a particular price before, only to retake that level, or to take that level, I should say, moments later. So be on the lookout here for BYND as we end the show. All right, Adara, interesting move here for Tesla today. They're up less than 1%. So what do you make of this whole thing ahead of earnings?
Yeah, I think with Tesla, as Joe kind of alluded to here, I think it's always less about what numbers they release that quarter, and then that it is going to be what type of thing Elon hints is coming in the future. We know Elon Musk loves his button teases for things that will happen in the future of Tesla, often with timelines that are, to put it mildly, optimistic. So for example, Q1 2024 in April 24, that report was not the best, but Elon Musk said, hey, we're going to get the affordable model. We're going to start production on said affordable model in early 2025. Did not happen. But either way, the idea that it could happen got investors and market participants really excited, even though the report itself was kind of abysmal. So I think we even saw with Oracle this year, too, to make a more recent comparison with a different company. Oracle posted a miss in earnings on September 9th, but they also said, hey, we have insane guidance for fiscal 2030 that we can back up here with our remaining performance obligations. So I think if Tesla or Elon specifically kind of guides or hints at anything coming forward, I think the stock will probably do well, but I really don't think it's going to have anything to do with the numbers that they post. That being said, if they post good numbers and Elon hints at something awesome, I think the stock will probably do a lot better, but that's just my take.
All right, thank you. All right, here we go. BYND, we're done this trade now. It's, I think, possibly losing trend, topping till candle through 155, current candle, lower high and lower low. It could mean nothing, but I'd be looking for maybe a buy into that 140 area to hold the 10 EMA on the 5. I'm talking about BYND up 125%, Joey. It's 2 o'clock. Well, it's actually 2:01.
2:01.
All right, send them off, Joe.
Let's go. Blue Jays. Let's play.
You want to make some predictions before we go?
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead. So win or loss? Let's start with that.
Well, I want them to win.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about what won. I want them to win too.
Win.
We're gonna win.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we got Bieber at the mount.
We got Bieber on the mount, right?
Yeah.
Neil, who do they have? Kirby.
Kirby.
Is that the